Made in Japan. Breed.
Passionate about a life in racing? Circle track, drag racing, drifting, or Monster Jam. Find it all at the University of Northwestern Ohio.
If you want to get everything you need to know about Monster Jam, about motorsports, you got to go to UNOH.
It's been the best opportunity I've ever taken. I've gotten so many opportunities, so many different connections.
You build every basic skill that you need to be able to work in racing and get your foot in the door.
See where your future can take you with a high-performance motorsports degree from the University of Northwestern Ohio.
GT Radio. Experience ultra high performance.
It's round 5 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. We are live from Worldwide Technology Raceway from Madison, Illinois, just in the shadow of the St. Louis Arch, the gateway to the west, the blue-collar city, home of Anheuser-Busch, and all things Midwest.
Sensations of the mind.
Up in the door, up at whatever you have to roll up. Final outside jump, over. We are flying in and dropping in here to a very hot and humid Worldwide Technology Raceway. Earlier today, we rounded out round 3 of the Link Engine Management Pro Spec Championship, but right now, it is pro time. We got round 5 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship, and our fans are sweaty and ready. It is hot. You got those nice metal bleachers, but these are hardcore fans, and hopefully they're applying their SPF whatever sunscreen they choose to use. And again, buy your FD merch because you know what? It's going to be one heck of a year. It's a year for the books. Celebrating 20 years of Formula Drift. Grab a Rockstar, get the energy going. I got my Rockstar Recovery right here. This thing's got vitamin C, electrolytes, collagen, coconut water. I mean, come on, crack a can of Rockstar. Speaking of Rockstar, there's Frederick Aasbo and his team getting prepared as we are getting ready to find out who is going to advance on to 16. We have that halftime break, but also we have buys. We have buys in the 32, but coming into this round of competition after a very exciting New Jersey, we have a shaking up in the points standings. And Matt Field had a great practice session. Speaking of point standings, we'll get in that in a little bit, but that's the gentleman that leads the pack, Matt Field, who, you know, he came down to Irwindale last year, a wet, wacky, and wild Irwindale, and ended up being Frederick Aasbo for a 3-time and back-to-back champ. Castro even giving Matt Field a thumbs up there. But this track, all outer zones, we'll get into it. I'm Jared Deane. Joining me here in the booth is Ryan Lontaine. So Ryan Lontaine is up here in the booth. And again, Robin Ishida, Chris Yule, those are 3 judges. There's Ryan Turk and his Rain-X Toyota Corolla GR, and he is a very talented driver. He's gotten almost close to number 1 qualifier here, but you know, he just has not converted his previous number 1 qualifiers into getting the win. He'd like to have that come to fruition here in St. Louis. But Nick Novak, guess what? He's number 2 qualifier. We actually won't see him in 32 because he has a bye run. So a lot of things unfolding here as we're creating some excitement here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Chelsea Denofa 2nd overall in the championship. Chelsea Denofa, who got the victory back in Orlando, put it all together, but he's won here in St. Louis a couple years ago, celebrated, climbed the fence, all pumped up, and then jumps off, and breaks and breaks his heels. So pretty wild. So we'll introduce you to Ryan Lantain and myself here on camera. But with an update, another member of our broadcast team, Lorette Nichols, in the building, and she caught up with Ryan Turk.
Hey Jared, so excited to be chatting with you guys. And Ryan Turk normally is out in the hot pits, but his car is parked here in the paddock. Can you explain what's happening?
Yeah, the guys just re-prepped the car, the fresh set of Nittos, and fueled up and ready to hit the line for a chase lap. The car kind of sputtered to a stop, and we weren't sure why. Went to crank it over, wouldn't crank over or fire up, so we swapped the battery thinking it was that. Same thing. So then we decided to bring it back to the pit, and they found out that we had a bad fuel pressure regulator diaphragm. There was a hole in it, so it ended up pouring a bunch of fuel in the cylinders and hydrolocking the engine. They have since drained it, have a new fuel pressure regulator on there, and we should be firing this thing up in a minute.
Okay, now I've heard that there's some rumors that you're going to have to do an engine swap. Is that still a possibility?
I guess it could still be a possibility, but everything that we've checked over, or the boys checked over, is looking good. So as long as this thing fires up and it doesn't have any weird stutters to it, then we'll be good to go.
Ryan, thank you very much for your time. He qualified fourth and looking to make waves here at St. Louis, guys.
Thank you so much, Lorette Nichols. She's going to be enduring the hot pits, literally and figuratively, as, again, our fans. Thank you so much for joining us out here. I'm Jared Deanda. This is Mr. Ryan Lantain. Ryan Lantain, you are doing double duty. You're going to be giving us some insight on what the judges are looking for, as well as you are literally judging yourself. And I don't know how you have that mental capacity, man. That's Eggert said, I don't know how he does it, but kudos to you.
It's not as hard as it looks.
I think you're selling yourself short there. St. Louis coming to this round again. We had a tumultuous 32 for not just not anybody in particular, but the biggest factor is Frederick Aasbo. He got knocked out in 32, shook up the standings. Matt Field now leads the pack coming into this round.
Yeah, and if watching practice is anything to go by today, this competition is going to be really tight.
Yep.
A lot of really close battles, and I think a lot of aggression, let's say. I don't want to say crashes, but
it's going to happen.
Going into outside zone 4 is going to be something else. I'm looking forward to this getting this started.
That's what I anticipated on Thursday, and now coming in now. So taking a look at our 32 bracket. Remember, we have a halftime break, but look at that. Notably, Kazuya Taguchi, Nick Novak, 1 and 2 qualifier, because we came in here with 31 drivers. 1 driver broke, so it went on to 30 drivers. So qualifying 1 and 2, both GT Radio, as well as both Jerry Yang Racing prepared vehicles. So Kazuya Taguchi, Nick Novak, Deane Kearney, and also I believe James Deane and Freddie could meet later on in the brackets. What are you looking at here? What's kind of standing out in your mind, Ryan?
Well, just looking at some of the drivers that don't typically qualify as high as they qualified here, so it's sort of mixing up the order of things, and it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Well, if you can recall last year, we got some Kazuya Taguchi fans here, because I would say that he really came to life here in St. Louis. But let's take a look back. It all began on the streets of Long Beach for sold-out crowd, and Matt Field had something to prove, and he came out guns a-blazing. The beast from the Bay, like I said, it ended in Irwindale, so just on a bummer end, but comes back, he fights for his right to party, and he gets the win. Was that expected in your mind?
You never know what to expect, but he definitely put together some competition level that we want to expect from somebody like him, but you just never know anymore. But he definitely earned that win. All
right, now the RTR party, man, because Vaughn Gittin Jr., he's doing a limited season, 4 rounds. Vaughn is coming back, and then Adam LZ, and boom, Vaughn Gittin Jr. gets the win in Atlanta, and in such a poetic fashion. Forsberg and Vaughn Gittin Jr. in 2004, 20 years ago, they were in the finals, and Forsberg got the win last time. But then Chelsea Denofa in Florida.
Yeah, Florida's always one of those weird tracks because it's so small. There are 2 corners and 1 transition, so you really have to shine in a short amount of time on this track. So for him to pull out the win there is, I think this is a lot of wins for RTR, right?
Oh,
this season so far?
Yeah, here it is, the 3rd one. So with 4 rounds, 3 of those RTR. They even made a 3-peat shirt. Can it be a 4-peat with James Deane competing here, or another RTR win? Adam LZ, and this is what Vaughn said it could be done. Ray Shake, the lead technician, just shaking things up. It came together. Adam LZ knows this track. Simon Olsen, 2nd place, a great finish for him, the best finish he's had so far in the history of Formula Drift. But Adam LZ, just an absolutely elated RTR team, and it doesn't come easy given all the history. With Vaughn Gittin Jr., 2-time champion, with James Deane, 3-time champion. It just coming together. It needs to be a beautiful marriage of man and machine. There's the season schedule we're looking at. Again, Matt Field, and then it's RTR, RTR, RTR. That's a 3-peat. Here we are in St. Louis. We go to Seattle after this. Then we go to Grantsville, Utah for the culmination of Link Engine Management Pro Spec Championship. And of course, in October, we end at the House of Drift, Irwindale, California. Let's take a look at the standings. Look at that. I mean, that's still 41 points that Matt Field has above Chelsea Denofa. 100 points for the win. We'll get to that mathematics a little bit later. But look at Denofa and Aasbo tying for second. James Deane. So look at that. You got Field, RTR, Aasbo going for a 4th championship, and James Deane going for that. I mean, look at the variety of names, where they're at, what's going on, you know?
Yeah, 2nd and 3rd are tied, and then 4th place is only 5 points behind them. So very, very tight in that sense. But what's going to happen today? How is this going to get mixed up, or is it going to kind of maintain the level that we're at right now in terms of who's where? We just don't know. But
yep, previous years we talked about, this is going to be kind of an easy one. I don't know. No, that's not the case at all in the 32, and that was proof positive last round with Frederick Aasbo. Deane Kearney, like you said, drivers. I talked to Deane in the drivers meeting. He's like, yeah, it's pretty amazing when you actually just drive like you want to. I said, hey, thanks for showing up, buddy. He did. He qualified 3rd. Deane Kearney, HyperNFT.io Dodge Viper. His brother's in the building. I know he's up here spotting for him as well, getting in his ear. It just seemed like a Deane we hadn't seen previously this year.
Yeah, this track might suit that Viper really well. The Viper's the kind of car, it's a little bit, the drivetrain, throttle on. It loves a throttle on track, and this track might suit that really well. And of course, Nick Novak in 2nd place here, getting the car transitioned really well. This track, we're focusing heavily on outside zone 2 and outside zone 4, getting the car rotated before slowing down, and then a whole lot of throttle when you're not doing those slowdowns. So Nick Novak did a great job of putting his car in almost every little place that it needed to be, but nobody did it like
Kazuya Taguchi, man. A 94 overall, and he's got to be loving this track. He won here last year. Ichiban, as he says, Up Garage, ISR Performance, Jerry Yang Racing 1 and 2. And again, back to Nick Novak. He's a very soft-spoken. He's a big guy, and he's very soft-spoken, but his car and his driving that's basically how he does his talking, right?
Yep.
So again, hats off to Jerry Yang Racing, Kazuya Taguchi. He'd like to get back there in the box, and again, 1 and 2 qualifiers. Novak and number 1 qualifier Kazuya Taguchi you will not see in 32, because guess what? The Fast Pass, baby. They're just going to park and chill till we have our top 16 at 8:30. How are we doing out there? Got the FD gear. Thank you so much for joining us out here, ladies and gentlemen. Some of y'all smart with the umbrellas. Don't block the view. Don't impede. But I appreciate it. If you haven't picked up all your FD gear, head on down there. Also, pick up your Type S with a special pricing. Type S products such as the Pro Series PSL Smart Underglow. You got built-in USB-C cables into LCD displays. You got your Ultra Slim Smart LED trim kit. Even your signature, Larry Chen. Yeah, the photographer. We all know him. We love him. 360 LED video light and power bank. Ryan, great opportunity. Walk us through the track. You as a judge, what are you looking for? And break down the outer zones and also the red points, the decel areas.
Yeah, the important things to look at here are those 2 red boxes. Those are the decel areas, and size-wise they might not be 100% accurate, but what they're representing is the area after the driver has transitioned for that outside zone that it proceeds. So going to outside zone 2, from outside zone 1, you want to make sure you get the car fully rotated before you get on the brakes to slow the car down for that zone. Same thing for outside zone 4. Otherwise, you're going to be impeding what the chase car is doing. The chase car won't know what to expect and how to anticipate what you're doing. And we've seen drivers go offline and slow down in the wrong places, and they've been held responsible for it. So we're going to be sticking to that today.
Well, a lot of noise was made last round of competition. Make sure that hood's closed, Chelsea. Okay, and again, the hood pins. Keep the hood pin in. Yeah, and I'm sure if you're an FD fan, there's a bit of controversy as they say in the UK. A little controversy between Denofa and Stuke, and some words were shared, and not some beautiful words, but live and learn, move on, what you got to do. And you know what? Like I said, I got a big bucket of popcorn over here. I'm for the show, man. I mean, you see those conflicts, those rivalries. I think it creates good competition. Speaking of rivals and competition, let's talk about the keys to victory. Open the door, courtesy of K&N.
Lead driver needs to have a quick and accurate initiation. Needs to transition quickly and accurately as well. Decel after the transitions. You're going to hear me repeat that a lot. And fill all the zones, of course. You want to be on throttle when you're not braking or decelling for those 2 outside zone 4 and outside zone 2 areas. Throttle, throttle, throttle. Using momentum, getting through the course quickly, efficiently, and giving that chase driver a good opportunity to chase. Now, what does the chase driver have to do? Stay close from the beginning to the end of this track. You want to get on the lead driver's door in the pocket. So that means not wheel to wheel, but just behind a little bit. They want to be matching the angle, matching the line in the pocket, meaning that the rear of the cars are matching. So the smoke lines are blending. You don't want the lead car's smoke line to be behind the chase cars. That means the chase car is too far forward. So that's really important for the chase car, close and in the pocket with the right amount of angle, mimicking transitions, just doing exactly what that lead driver's doing.
Yeah, you don't want to exceed that front hood. I mean, depending on the size of the car, of course, but I'm super excited. Again, thank you to K&N for sponsoring that. If you're looking for an air filter or intake, look, here's the deal. $50 off intakes or 20% off air filters. No code needed until July 25th. Go to knfilters.com. $50 off intakes, 20% off air filters. Act now. If you're watching at home, order. Go ahead, do the deal. Because guess what? We're going to take a short break. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, our first battle of our Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32 here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. This is it. The finals are set. The lights are on. Who is going to win? Send it. Here we go. Celebrating 20 years of FD, baby. Whoa, are you kidding me? Look at that. This is a year to watch the most talented drifters in the world. That was awesome.
Rockstar Energy gets me energized so I can go out and send it. Hustle on.
GT Radio. Experience ultra high performance.
Link ECU. We know what it takes to win. Pushing boundaries, performing under pressure, and having the best people on your team. Link ECU, the performance, reliability, and power to get to the podium.
For 30 Formula Drift teams, our professional tire stacks crew will mount over 1,000 tires during a weekend to keep our drivers on track, competing at the highest level. TireStacks.com, the official tire service of Formula Drift.
The magic of Rain-X. Okay, that's some serious Hollywood stuff right there. But with Rain-X Latitude water repellency blades, the magic is real. These blades apply a new, longer-lasting water repellency formula. The magic of Rain-X repels water from your windshield so water beads up and rolls away while you drive, giving you the clearest view possible. Treat your windshield for safer driving visibility with Rain-X Latitude water repellency wiper blades.
You can count on having a team that has your back, an environment that supports you, and plenty of friends. You're gonna make a lot of friends here. And if you like to work hard and really just get what you put in, then Discount Tire is a perfect place for you. You should come join our team.
My heart just dropped, thinking about you. Just stops when I'm without you. My heart just dropped, thinking about you. Just stops when I'm
All right, before we get settled and see our first battle, they're pulling in the burnout box. Let's throw down to Lorette Nickel, who's with our current points leader, Matt, the Beast from the Bay Field. Lorette?
I wanted Matt's opinion on the track. So there is a new paved section, and I wanted to see how's it treating all of you guys.
So far, so good. The only thing that's a little bit strange is the fact that in Zone 2, it's at one level, and in Zone 3, it's at another level, and that new pavement is a slight bit of a step down. But that's all masked by how amazing the new layout is. So much better for tandem. The track flows so much more. Build way more speed in Zone 2. So overall, I don't even think about that. I'm just so thankful that we have awesome new garages here and a new wider track that flows substantially better.
Good. I'm so happy to hear that for you guys. In your first battle, you're going to see LZ. What are your expectations?
Definitely going to try my best. Had a little bit of a rough start to qualifying, but I feel like that doesn't represent our laps at all this weekend. What really represents our laps is this practice session. We were laying it all on the line and focusing on our follows a lot, and I feel really, really strong there. And fortunately, with a couple of minor changes that the crew threw at me for the last practice session, our leads are now right up where they need to be. So it's going to be a hell of a battle. I think both cars are real fast, and I know we're both going to give it our all. So we'll see.
Matt, thank you very much for your time. Jared?
Thank you so much, Lorette. And again, thank you for enduring the heat down there. I know you're going to get all the hot stories, so it's great to hear your voice and great to see you here in just a little bit. All right, so got our first battle here in 32. Chris, the Force Forsberg, qualifying 16th. Kyle Mohan qualifying 17th. Where are we going to land? So Forsberg, NOS Energy, all-new Nissan Z on GT radial tires. Kyle Mohan here in his renewable lubricants, Mazatrix RX8. Forsberg comes out of the chute blazing. Big angle fills all that outside zone 1. Coming to outside zone 2. Kyle Mohan dives in the nose. Good proximity. Has to back off a little bit now into outside zone 3. Fills all of it and almost gets to that red and white wall. And again, just showing you the driving prowess. Now that last outside zone. Keep in mind, if you hit that red and white, that is off course. So again, that red and white rumble strip on outside zone 4, that is, imagine, going off course, and is not forgiving at all as well. We've seen some cars debeated hitting that earlier.
Yes, sir. So pay attention here to where both cars are placed. Forsberg in the lead, fills outside zone 1 nicely. You can see in the chase position there, Mohan not getting in the box. Mohan does a better job of mimicking Forsberg's line through outside zone 2, but then in 3, you can see Mohan's not in the box again while Forsberg is in it. And this is going to be a common theme throughout the night. Who's placing their car well in the box, and how is the chase car adapting to what the lead car is doing? And in this case, Forsberg did a really good job in the lead. He decelled in the right direction. He placed his car in the boxes really well, and he had good flow throughout the course. So Mohan had a perfect opportunity to chase well here, but had to make some compromises through a couple of zones. And you can see the lower angle there through outside zone number 3 as well from Mohan in the chase. So Mohan is going to have to perform at a high level right now. He's going to have to get his car in zone 1, 2, 3, and 4, and Forsberg just has to stick to the side of that car and mimic what he's doing to gain the win here.
Yeah, we've seen some simple mistakes, just, as far as, I liked what Sopa said earlier about Pro Spec. Sometimes it's that nickel part, and it's just that inches and seconds it's really going to throw you off.
Yeah, that's always a possibility. So let's see how these two match up right now. Kyle qualified fairly high here, 17th versus 16, so
right
he's got
there.
a great opportunity.
Yep, fairly equally matched. I know Chris Forsberg here, he's going to apply the pressure. He can't just kick back here, but again, you don't want to apply the pressure too much. Again, we've seen some great things from Kyle Mohan. We'd love to see him advance, but who doesn't? Chris Forsberg. Here we go, Kyle Mohan in that second outside zone. He drags that tail in. There goes Forsberg, surging in attack, so a little bit closer proximity and really mimicking that angle. Both of them getting that third outside zone in that last and final outside zone, keeping it off the wall. Both of them go in. Looks like Kyle Mohan does exceed a little bit. Looked like almost just dropping a tire as he hit that cone. Now that cone does denote the finish line. You need to keep control of your vehicle, which you have seen, and we have seen vehicles lose it and basically get incomplete.
Yes, we have. So Kyle does a better job in the lead here than he did in the chase earlier. You can see he's positioning his car in all the boxes. That's zone 2 right there, but Forsberg is mimicking exactly what he's doing. You can see he's on the same line right there. Kyle did not fill outside zone 3 completely. He got into the box, but he left it early. Forsberg was there to mimic what he was doing though, stayed with him. At the finish line, you can see Kyle went off the track a little bit, so he dropped the tire before and actually hit the end of the that cone there that marks the end of the zone. So let's have a look here at what we all said. I
assume they're going to slide him all left, you, Ryan, as well, and there it is. Unfortunately for Kyle Mohan, he's knocked out, but Chris Forsberg gets the win. Again, the Day 1 2004 FD veteran is in top 16. He's going to be going against Kazuya Taguchi, again, our #1 qualifier, as well as our winner last year here in St. Louis. Where are my Forsberg fans at? Any 1, 2, 3? Okay, a few of you. Thank you. And again, all right, well, we got a great battle coming up next. Chelsea Denofa, who won here a couple years ago. He's made a lot of noise on and off track via different situations and scenarios. But again, it adds to the rivalry. I'm here for it. Like I said, poke the bear. Look, we all know what happened. Okay, just let's talk it up. Joao Barion, again, a quiet driver coming to us from Brazil. You've seen him drive in his native Brazil. What does he pilot in Brazil?
He has a few different cars down there.
Okay.
He's a 370Z that's all monstered out, and then he has a 1966 Mustang.
That's right.
Notchback, not the hatchback, but the notch. And he, I think he has a big V8 in that thing, and he drifts that around. It's not as competitive, I don't think, as the Z is, but he still takes it out and does some fun shows with it.
Very cool.
Yep.
All right, so here we go as we are seeing the Pennzoil Mustang RTR Spec 5 FT going against Joao Barion. Again, Joao from Brazil. And look at Chelsea Denofa staging and staggering his start here. Maybe going to roll into it for, again, our second battle. What would have been third, but again, #1 and #2 qualifier, Kazuya Taguchi, Nick Novak with their fast pass in the top 16. What if this is a smart approach for Chelsea Denofa? He feels like he's got the power. Oh, and we got a restart. Looks like a cone knocked over there.
Yeah, definitely a cone hit.
All right, well, Matt Sopa on the start line, giving him double thumbs up, says go for it. But so this is where we adopt the only stick in ball sports. 3 strikes, you're out. You get a oh wow.
Wow,
Okay. Wow, guy. Wow, relax, man. You got more flair than TGI Fridays. So as taking a look here again, 3 strikes, either by hitting a cone or jumping the lights. So again, all the lights will be on as soon as they extinguish. Then the start car or the lead car can leave the start line.
You can also park on the light, which means you sit on the light for too long after you should be leaving. That can also cause you to get a restart. So you've got the 3 things. All 3 of them are designed to give the chase car an opportunity to stay with the lead car up to the initiation point. So if you're hitting a cone, that means you're straight lining through the chicane. You'll have an advantage there, right? You're going to be able to get away from the chase car, so we don't want that. If you leave the light too early, another advantage. If you leave too late, also an advantage because the chase car can't time their leaving the light as well. So it's all designed to keep competition close.
Absolutely. And it looks like Joao Barion's spotter is calling a competition timeout. So just kind of, you can call it whenever you want. So yeah, we are seeing Joao Barion call a competition timeout. So Chelsea Denofa can't touch his vehicle. Joao Barion calling a competition timeout, and you are only allowed 1 through the entirety of the weekend. That does include actually qualifying as well. So we call this the NGK competition timeout. NGK, you know them as spark plugs, but they make ignition coils as well. Well, why? Because we prefer a running partner that can keep pace. We know ignition, and since our spark plugs don't run alone, we put some of our energy and expertise into making a better coil. NGK ignition coils are engineered to OE durability and performance, and because we race to win, we continue to improve the design, testing, and validation of our ignition coils to make installation easier and performance better. NGK spark plugs and coils, better together. Also, if you are looking to experience drifting yourself, guess what? You could do it digitally via Sim Magic at our events. So again, we have our 3 more events, including Seattle, Utah, and Irwindale. Courtesy of Sim Magic, we have 3 different packages from $20, $40, and $1,000, but they are pretty extensive. $20 for courtesy of Sim Magic. You go to the front of line pass, skip the line, schedule a 5-minute session, limited to 10 slots per day. Then you got a $40 pass, which is 1 hour early into the venue, scheduled 15-minute sim drift experience on the Sim Magic and Extreme Sim Racing, limited to 24 slots. And then this is the big one. This one's really cool. You can rent the sim drift experience for a private 1-hour party. Now, this is available Friday and Saturday, limited to 2 private party packages per day. Again, $1,000. All this courtesy of Sim Magic, a great partner of ours. And I know a lot of the Formula Drift drivers utilize the Sim Magic, and they'll race tracks on their sims prior to them even coming to the event.
It's a smart move, Jared.
Right?
And we do have a new development.
What's that?
Taylor Hall was supposed to be in the next battle up against Dylan Hughes.
He called a competition timeout too?
He also called a competition timeout. So we're jumping ahead to the next battle, which will be Ryan Turk versus Ula Jaeger.
Oh man, there are a lot of so what do you think you attribute that to?
Well, could be the heat, could be
That's
just attrition over the amount of rounds that we've had now. Cars have had some abuse, let's call it, over the 4 seasons coming up until now, or 4 rounds, I mean, sorry. And now we've had some practice today. We had practice 2 days ago as well. So maybe it's just the cars, getting worn out,
getting beat up, and again, just a lot of practice today. I think it's the heat too, and it's a lot of abuse. We've seen the rain. We saw. I mean, it was storming yesterday. If you haven't seen the videos, I saw Forsberg and his team holding the thing down. Tents went flying. I mean, we've had some crazy weather over the years, and we've had it here in St. Louis before. Here we go. Ola Jaeger and Ryan Turk. So Ryan Turk will lead that Rain-X Toyota GR Corolla on Nitto tires. He is a rock star pilot, and he's a rock star. Ooh, drops a little tire there. We'll have to take a look at the overhead view, what we call the truth serum. Ola Jaeger lacking that angle and that proximity. Now he throws it to the side. Ooh, barely didn't get an angle, but a couple car lengths back as Ryan Turk delivers on that outside zone 3. And again, Brett caught up with Ryan Turk talking about the car. Maybe an engine swap. I don't know. They changed out a lot of different pieces. So, maybe he's not exactly the most confident in that lead position. But Ola Jaeger, Japan Auto Supra Mark IV. What do you think?
Well, Turk definitely had an issue there, let's call it, an outside zone number 1. We're not looking for drivers to drop a tire through there. It can hurt the momentum of the vehicle. It can hurt the line that they're carrying through that area as well, so the chase car needs to adapt to that. So as he comes through 3 to 4, actually this is 2 to 3 here, you can see that's where Ula drops off a little bit, but so precise here. Turk was right on the edge of that rumble strip, and he actually put rubber with kind of the part of the tire that wasn't actually touching the surface. It was the back side of the tire. So if you look at the rumble strip, it has rubber around the edge of it. So precise. But that's where Turk right there dropped the tire through outside zone 1. He maintained momentum. His angle wasn't affected too seriously, and it looked like Ula was able to just mimic what he was doing in the chase position without being affected by it. So it's not ideal for Turk in the lead. So let's watch again here as he drops that tire. You can see the front left wheel coming off the ground because the car is kind of jacking there by dropping off. That has been dug out over the last few days pretty significantly. But a great lead run from Ryan Turk. Otherwise, it's just that tire drop is something that Ula will have to avoid doing in his lead while being just as precise everywhere else. The chase position, Turk has an opportunity here. Ula was a little bit far behind in a couple of areas, so Turk can really stick to his door all the way around the course and get an advantage in the chase-to-chase comparison. And
Ula could definitely put down a blazing run. We know this. I mean, we talk about cars and attrition. This car has seen so much competition over the years. Frederick Aasbo, the 3-time champ, he piloted his car at one previous time. And here we go, Ola Jaeger, and look, he drops the tire. So kind of tit for tat here now. This is a good opportunity for Ryan Turk. I think a lot of battles will be won in the chase position. Now he's got that proximity. You can see him now dropping in, surging attack, trying to throw the hook out there in that Rain-X Toyota GR Corolla. The Rockstar pilot comes now in that last outside zone, and he drops the tire and he loops it. Ryan Turk has an incomplete. That you need, we talked about this previously. That, my friends, does not have control over that finish line. This is a huge, huge blow and shock to Ryan Turk and his team. 32, here we are.
Yeah.
That's a huge blow, and again, not taking anything away from Ola Jaeger, but just given, Ryan Turk's past, his driving prowess, where he's at, he's got the car. This is going to be a very frustrating time for Ryan Turk.
Yes. Now, the only thing that I can say that changes a little bit in the chase position is it's not an automatic incomplete when you spin. It'll be based on what the lead driver was doing, but upon first view of that, it looked like Ula was doing what he was supposed to do, so that could be completely independent from Turk. Like you said, Ula dropped the tire in outside zone 1 just like Turk did. Turk was actually a little bit deeper maybe in outside zone 2. He's got his car so well positioned here. He's not super close. He's close, but he's in the right position. Right here, you can see that Ula did slow down a little bit there from the truth serum camera. So let's watch this again from the high-speed drone. Turk's right there with them, and they make a little bit of contact there. And of course, if that right front tire gets slowed down or braked, it's going to cause that car to over-rotate and spin. And it looks like Turk does have an issue with the car, needs to be towed off. So maybe something broke. Maybe the car's not running. I'm not sure what exactly happened. But we're going to have to talk about fault in this situation as to what occurred, which is going to bring us over to our replay system
Go ahead.
analyze what's going on.
Get out of here, Ryan. Like I said, you're doing double duty, so you're going to converse. You're going to take a look at the replay here. So going into this last outside zone, looked like there might have been contact, and as Ryan was saying, now we need to deem who's at fault. Did Ola Jaeger impede on Ryan Turk to hit him, or was this just an independent incident for Ryan Turk, and he spun. And again, at first glance, it looked like it was independent, but as Ryan said, this is why we utilize the camera angles. Our judges, Ryan Lontaine, Robin Nishida, and Chris Ewell, and Sean Adriano, they are utilizing this, as well as Brian Egger. He's sitting out as driver steward. But let's run it back here with our United States Air Force instant replay. Ryan Turk being aggressive here. And you know what? Looking at that, slowing it down, I think the overhead is probably this. Watch this. So look at that smoke trail. You want to be on throttle. There are decel areas, but look at the minimization of smoke coming from Ulla Jaeger's vehicle. Not that they're saying that he's off throttle, but if you float that and you check up the chase driver, Ulla could very well be at fault. And this is where we're also going to utilize our decel lights. So basically, the kind of accelerator lights that show you if they're green, they are at acceleration. Also, here are the decel zones. So you are allowed to decel going into outside zone 4, but you kind of want to get back on throttle, and that's basically going to be a natural transition, because once you go to outside zone 3, you transition back, you kind of flirt with that wall. That's going to show you a good line, but you can see the blue area there, that's the outer zone. You need to fill that, but be on throttle. So you kind of not hit it and quit it, but basically you slow down naturally with the transition. So kind of allowed to decel here. Now power out, get back on throttle. This could be a very interesting turn of events here. You know, again, I've been wrong before, and at first glance, it looked like lay out and listen. So taking a look at this, there's Matt Sopa. Thank you, Matt, for having some dialogue with me during Pro Spec. It was obviously a pleasure wrapping out. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Ryan Turk, where are my Ryan Turk fans at? Where are my Ulla Jaeger fans at? My dude's throwing up the deuce right there. Checking out my man, the Army, right there. That's what's up. Hey, how's it going? Starting them young. Make sure, again, stay hydrated. Keep reapplying that sunscreen, please. All right, so our judge is still analyzing the runs and the angle. So the different perspectives, that's what it's all about. So you can see that back bumper there. Our judges this round of competition, obviously, it is not Brian Egger, it's Ryan Lontaine. It's Ryan Lontaine, Chris Ewell, and Robin Nishida. We have 4 judges, and one gets rotated out 2 rounds of the year. So you'll judge 6 rounds collectively as far as pro goes. So Ryan, after looking at this,
yep,
what did you guys assess? And maybe talk about it after the outcome here, because you guys kind of went into it, and I saw you, again, utilizing all the different angles. At first glance, it looked like Ryan Turk looped it independently behind him,
yep,
but if Ulla kind of floated it and became a roadblock, it very well could be Ulla's fault, and the spin would not be Ryan's fault, it would be Ulla Jaeger's fault.
Yeah, and I think I'm getting the feeling we're going to be split on this one, potentially, so I'd like to let the results come up before I say anything. I think everybody's
I think
votes are in.
everybody's submitting them.
I'll tell you maybe how I feel about it. Is everybody in already? We're good? No, we're not in yet. All right, so we'll leave it. But
yeah, just leave it at that. You guys are analyzing all these different perspectives. Again, we saw the decel area. Are you going to utilize the decel, the lights on the windshield?
No.
You're not.
In this case, I'm not using the decel lights. Personally, I'm looking at the attitude of the car, both cars. I'm looking at inputs from both cars. I'm looking at the line that both cars are on, throttle usage, all those things.
Here we go. Slide him left for Ryan Turk, right for Ulla Jaeger. And here we go. Ryan Turk gets the win, and it is unanimous. It is unanimous. So, Ryan, you're not utilizing the lights, but again, the feedback, the input, and I see you talking to Robin Nishida here. Let you wrap out with him. So, again, Ryan Turk, the Rain-X Toyota GR Corolla, the Rockstar driver. He's wiping his brow after a little bit of a controversial turn of events, no pun intended. He does advance on to the 16 after further review.
Yeah, so I just talked to Robbie real quick. We were having a sort of discussion over there at the replay machine, discussing what we thought happened, and we did come to differing conclusions. Personally, I thought that Ulla was to blame for that because he was decelling through zone 4, or not accelerating. He didn't get on throttle. There was actually a handbrake pull, I think, in there. and he only got on throttle after the hit, which was at the finish line. So I blamed it on Ulla entirely. The other two judges both gave it shared fault because they felt that Turk was on a line that was taking him a little bit wide, and that was partially the blame, while Ulla's decel was also to blame. So they put a shared fault on it, but Turk did a better job in the other run, so it went towards Turk. So we all came to the same conclusion, but in a different way.
Different ways.
Yeah, so if you look at this replay right now from the drone, is the easiest way to see it. Watch Ulla in the lead. No smoke, no smoke, no smoke, no throttle. Boom, contact, floors it, and then he got smoked. He should be on throttle earlier than that.
All right, thank you for the great insight there. Let's throw it down to Lorette Nickel with our ACT track conditions report, brought to you by ACT, celebrating 30 years of clutch performance. Champions choose ACT.
Thank you, Jared. I wanted a quick word with Chris Forsberg about exactly that, and we were able to talk to Matt about that new patch on the track. How is that track shaping up for you?
It's actually working out really well. We're getting a lot of good drive from the second turn all the way through into that new patch, which is giving us a lot more speed into it. We made some changes to our car since the last round. We actually changed our sway bar approach entirely, and it's given us a lot of good drive and control of the car. As we enter into that last corner, it's a real big dive, big transition, and we want to make sure the car correctly. And so, yeah, I'm enjoying the extra speed.
And all diff issues with your car fixed for this round?
Yes, yeah, we had some differential issues last round at E-Town, and we had to do a subframe swap right before top 16, which I think kind of just exhausted me going into the competition. And the better move would have been to just swap the diff. We thought we could do the subframe faster, but we ran into some issues. It wasn't really the right call. So, but all that's resolved. We got all new setups in there, and yeah, we're feeling really good right now.
Now, Chris Forsberg is looking to have a lot of momentum here in St. Louis.
Thank you so much, Lorette, for that ACT track conditions report, brought to you by ACT, celebrating 30 years of clutch performance. Champions choose ACT. Here we go. We are going back to the Joao-Chelsea Denofa battle. We did not see either run. We had a restart, but then Joao called that competition timeout. So here we are on run one with Joao Barion out front. Now transitioning into that second outside zone. Oh, and Joao Barion comes out of angle. Denofa made contact with the wall as he goes into third. And Chelsea really applying the pressure. Now to that last outside zone, Joao flicks it in. Chelsea Denofa almost gripping up. And wow, that got very, very precarious. Now keep in mind, Chelsea Denofa was forced to go into his second run, and he qualified low because he had that incomplete on his first run, so was forced to go to the second run.
That's true. Looking at the initiation, great by both drivers. You can see Denofa pretty close there. In the lead, Barion drops a tire in outside zone one, and right there loses angle, and it wasn't a wall thing. It just, I don't know what happened, but he definitely lost some power to the wheels there. It came out of drift, but not fully. And right here, it looks like Denofa maybe gave him some space. I'm not sure if that was deliberate, but you can see the majority of the track, Denofa's right with him, doing everything, and right there you can see that maybe it was a missed shift. I'm not sure if that's a shift point for Barion right there, but something definitely happened with the angle of his car through outside zone number two. Solid through three, and right there, Chelsea just backed off, and it almost looked deliberate, like, hey, I'm going to leave you a little bit of space. It looks like you're going in too fast, maybe, or I'm not sure what occurred there, but I didn't see anything that would cause Denofa to fall off in that way for any other reason than on purpose, so I'm not sure what occurred in that area, but you could see that Barion in the lead did go a little bit wide. He went in kind of on the wrong line through four and ended up dropping a tire near the end there.
Man, pretty crazy. Again, this is what we talked about earlier on the opening of the show. Anything can happen in 32. You can't just count your chickens before they hatch, right? You got all these different opportunities, different scenarios. Again, it's the marriage of man and machine, again, going against another man and machine or female machine as well. But here we are looking at Joao Barion, the Brazilian driver, chasing down the Philly born and bred Chelsea Denofa, Peninsula, RCR, Ford Mustang. I know Boss Man's watching at home right now, or he's out in the desert ripping raptors, but goes in that second outside zone. Chelsea, massive angle from Denofa. Joao shuts it down, and that's mechanical. Unfortunately for Joao Barion, as long as Chelsea keeps it consistent, he's going to have the victory here. He's flirting with that loop in it, man. I mean, he's just maxing out that angle. Very aggressive. Is it too much too soon? You know what I mean? Like, again, I'm sure his spotter's like, Joao, shut down, so keep it consistent.
Yeah, you can see Chelsea really pushed it through zone 4. He's a passionate guy. He's going to throw it in as much as he can, whenever he can. But in this run right here, you can see Chelsea did a great job in the lead. And the same place that Barion had that bobble earlier in his lead run, in the chase, he shuts the car down. And potentially that's why Chelsea gave him some space. He knew that Barion was having trouble with his car and he didn't want to get too close in a precarious situation. But right here you can see Barion not really matching the line. He's not as deep in outside zone 1. Zone 2, he was doing a great job mimicking what Chelsea was doing, but then the car just gives up on him right there. And unfortunately, he's going to have an incomplete for that straightening in that run. And that's going to probably end his day right here.
Yeah, unfortunately for Joao Barion, you wonder why he called that comp timeout. We don't know officially. We know his spotter called it right when he had that restart, and he did and was able to call it, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. And the car breaks down, and Chelsea Denofa advances on. So Chelsea Denofa gets the win. Joao Barion, we'll see you in Seattle. We'll see you in Seattle for the next round of the Pro Championship. But Joao Barion, Chelsea Denofa, All-American battle, but definitely Brazilian versus American. Here we are up on the rooftop. See Alex Jaeger chilling, got Takayano. We are up here on the rooftop. A few of the different spotters and drivers and friends and family of hard card holders of the FD drivers. And it's hot. And yesterday, it looked like there was a tornado above the building yesterday. It looked like Stranger Things, man. So somebody was playing Metallica up there with a guitar. I'm joking.
Yeah, but wicked, man. You should have been there. I went up there, and there was like a hole in the clouds, and everything was spiraling around it. It was like kind of trippy.
No, I'd rather
in
not.
In a bad way.
Yeah, exactly. All right, here we go. Dylan the Dozer Hughes versus Taylor Full Pole Hole, as he is suited and booted, ready to do battle here with Dylan Hughes in the royal purple BMW. Yep, we are live here with our GoPro, catching some action high above the Worldwide Technology Raceway Tower. And we are going back to this because we had that competition timeout called by Taylor Hull. So this is supposed to be the fourth battle, but kind of bouncing around here with Chelsea and Joao and all that. So here we go. Dylan the Dozer Hughes, Taylor Hull. Taylor Hull qualifying 24th. Dylan Hughes qualifying 9th. That royal purple BMW. All right, let's see. The lights are illuminating. Once they extinguish, ready to roll. Here we go. Dylan Hughes. Through that start chicane, we got a clean start. Initiating that first outside zone. Dylan Hughes, he dropped a lot of tire there, but it looks like it could potentially just be one. Taylor Hull, that Comcams, Kenda Tires, Corvettes. Now coming to that third outside zone, Dylan Hughes seems to find the sweet spot right there. Now coming that last and final outside zone. Gets on the red and white. Wow, explodes that lap. Holy cow. Oh man, that rumble strip, that absolutely exploded that back right. I think there was going to be a leading edge on that white area. Whoo-wee, Rick. That thing exploded like a pinata, but there's nothing sweet in that pinata at all. Those Forge Stars took a licking, but keeps on ticking. Look at the abuse those wheels took. They're still round, those Forge Star wheels.
Was there a D-bead there at the finish, maybe? From
look at what he did. He exploded the rumble.
Thing. So if it is a D-bead, it's off course. He's allowed to change his tire, but he does need to call a competition timeout. So right here as we look at the run, zone 3, great job from Dylan. In the chase, you can see that Taylor Hull's a little bit further behind. And there, that nice exploding, wow, that was aggressive. So he had the exploding rumble strip plus hitting the dirt there at the finish line. He did drop part of the tire there off of outside zone number 1. Does a great job through 2, and this is where he starts to pull away from Taylor Hull. Taylor Hull was never really super close, but this is where he truly builds that gap. And then he gets a tire on the rumble strip, which is considered a tire off, of course, and then right at the finish there. Wow, did he get up on 3 or 2 wheels there when he hit the end of the track?
Yeah, hit the end of the track. Watch this, just bang, bongo, boom. Oh, holy cow. So violent. Yeah, it was violent. I mean, that front right, obviously the back right he hits, that sends him off course a little bit. Here's Ryan Turk. Ryan Turk, say what's up, man. We're live with your GoPro, but
he's ignoring you.
No, I don't think he can hear me. So there he is. Ryan. That's you, buddy. Hey, congratulations.
Oh, look at me over there.
Look, he's wiping his brow. He's eating his peppers, his signature Ryan Turk pepper. There it is.
What a healthy guy he is, eating his green pepper with a bottle of
Rockstar.
Yeah.
Again, look at those Forge Stars. Took a hit. So again, he can call a competition timeout. But again, there's a couple happy people here. One of which is with Lorette Nickel. How happy is he, Lorette? Chelsea.
Well, Chelsea is so happy, but he is offering me a bit of insight about what the team is going to have to do to the car, and if you'll please tell everybody what you just told me.
Yeah, in practice we damaged some drivetrain components, and we didn't have time to change them, so we kind of pieced it together and did the best we could, which I think it was going to be fine when I left, and it ended up being okay. So they're going to get this thing up on jack stands and replace the gearbox and probably the diff and some other little things. This track is really demanding in turn 2, leaving from a slow speed and a high gear, and it's a lot of abuse on the drivetrain. So we want to be competitive and want to win, but at the same time, that means we're going to have to do some extra work.
Right. So that extra work coming for you, but on the track, how difficult was it handling this car?
It was fine. It was just in the back of my head, like, be a little gentler when you can be.
Well, Chelsea, congratulations on your win. We will see him in top 16. Jared?
All right, thank you so much. We're discussing the culmination of the accident here of Dylan Hughes. And there's Alex Jaeger. You got Biddies and, again, Ryan Turk. So here are some of the spotters up high above, the eyes in the sky. So it looks like, again, those temporary rumble strips, we've had a little bit of issues with those this round of competition, you know, either kind of exposing, leading edge. Are they fiberglass? Is that what they are?
I'm not sure what they are, Jared, but we had to remove the second portion of them just to take away some of that risk. But of course, the first section's still there. They repainted them beautifully just before competition today because they were pretty black from the last couple of days of qualifying and competition yesterday as well.
Pro-spec as well.
Yeah, so they weren't very visible, so they painted them for us, and you can see there's already a big strip of rubber across them. A couple of drivers have dropped a tire on there, and we did make it off course just to keep drivers off of them, and they have stayed off of them. But now and then you go in there a little too hard, you just drop that tire, just like outside zone 1, dropping a tire in the dirt. But unfortunately here, instead of the dirt, you get that rumble strip that's sort of unpredictable.
Yeah. Well, there's the red, white, and blue, baby, flowing, and that wind there is going to be able to clear out some smoke. But Dylan Hughes, obviously, minus that back right tire, he will have to call a competition timeout. That's what they talked about, going off course. If he hit that, he's off course, and unfortunately reared its ugly head. Boom! The GT radial explodes, and the Forge Star keeps on rolling. But we're going to take a quick little break. When we go back, don't go anywhere. We got more battles here on deck. We are knee-deep, neck-deep in a Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32 here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. This is the road to the championship.
I've won the championship twice now. I think we can do it again.
Let's go. Let's do this.
Your winner at round 1. Look at Aasbo. He's a magician. Here we go. Rain or shine, these guys are down for a good time. You can't count anybody out.
Everybody's really pushing the envelope. One mistake, and that's it.
Oh, my goodness.
What did I do wrong? I don't get it.
So it's all about attrition here in St. Louis. We're in the playoffs, man. We are fighting for it tooth and nail. And Aasbo goes hard. Matt Field, the guy to beat.
We got 20 seconds to shine. We can't make any mistakes. If you do, you're out.
It's going to be coming down to Irwindale, kids.
Is Matt feeling the pressure? Absolutely.
The championship is on the line. Ryan Turk, he says, hold that Rockstar, homeboy, let me show you something. Matt Field is out. Huge repercussions here. Your winner, Frederick the Norwegian Hammer Aasbo! What an amazing ending to a 2022 season.
Link ECU. We know what it takes to win. Pushing boundaries, performing under pressure, and having the best people on your team. Link ECU, the performance, reliability, and power to get to the podium.
One bottle, so many great things. When your engine reaches 75,000 miles or more, like on this truck, years of carbon buildup leads to reduced fuel economy, increased wear, poor acceleration, and higher emissions. Max Restore is specifically designed for high-mileage engines with quality PEA and proprietary detergents to remove those stubborn legacy deposits. And it includes a friction modifier to reduce future wear in the upper cylinder of your vehicle's engine. Restore performance and protect your high mileage engine with Royal Purple Max Restore.
I watched my first race yesterday.
You're on the team, kid. It's orientation day.
Hey, new guy, let's get you up to speed.
Lunchtime.
Your workspace is ready.
Looks like you got a corner office.
Be part of something greater. Toyota. Let's go places.
NGK makes ignition coils. Why? Because we prefer a running partner that can keep pace. We know ignition, and since our spark plugs don't run alone, we put some of our energy and expertise into making better coils. NGK ignition coils are engineered to OE durability and performance. And because we race to win, we improve the design, testing, and validation of our coils for better performance. NGK spark plugs and coils, better together.
All right, welcome back. Man, it's hot. The fans are rip-roaring, ready to go. Thank you to Worldwide Technology Raceway. Everybody here has been such a great treat. Chris Blair, thank you to them. The whole track staff has been absolutely fantastic. Thank you to our corner workers. You know, you got Pat, Michael, Sopa. I mean, everybody down there on the track, they're sweating it out. And, of course, you, the fans. So thank you so much. And be sure to buy your limited edition merch because you can only celebrate 20 years 1 year. And we are celebrating 20 years of Formula Drift, so available now at the Formula Drift merchandise booth. Pick it up. There it is. Also, you can buy your Type S goodies, Type S, the official lighting of Formula Drift. And go grab a Rockstar if you're here in the building or future rounds of competition. We got the Toyota activation right there. And you can see there's Ryan Turk's Toyota GR Corolla. We're going to see the Rockstar Toyota Supra. And, of course, we're going to see the Toyota of Kenshiro Gushi, the Madi's 3 Racing Toyota GR86, going against Daniel Stuke in that M-Spec S15. All right. Again, Ken Gushi, one of the day oneers. He's been competing in 2004, many different manufacturers and tires and all that. And here he is again. He started when he was 16 years old. You can do the math right there. It says he's 36. He started when he was 16 years old. It's absolutely awesome. But he's going against Daniel Stuke, who was definitely a fierce competitor. Oh, look at that. Stuke kind of checking up a little bit to just size him up here in that first outside zone. That V6 Turbo GR86, very smooth by Ken Gushi. Now Stuke lunges forward. He has to back off once again, and then into that third outside zone. How's he going to handle his transition? Into that decel area, they are allowed, but then drops it right into formation and then pops up as Daniel Stuke's trunk is flapping in the wind. And here we go. Again, he is the chase vehicle, so just relax. It only adheres to the lead vehicle. So as Daniel Stuke crosses that finish line in the chase position, and Ken Gushi leads him on through.
As they drive up to initiation, nice little flick from Gushi right there. You can see in the chase position that Stuke's not in the right position, and it's apparent as he approaches outside zone number 2 because he's very far inside, not really matching where Gushi's going. But then he gets on the same line through the kind of halfway through 2 and through 3, and then as they go to outside zone number 4, Stuke makes contact with the wall. You can see his trunk flap open right there as he makes contact with the wall. So let's watch this from the high-speed drone to see a little more up close what happened. You can see Stuke leaves that zone really early, and he's on a really tight line approaching 4. Doesn't get into it. Does a poor job through there, I would say, in the chase position. As he gets through outside zone number 3, though, gets back online, transition here, and then boom, right there is where he hits the wall, pops his trunk off. And Jared was referring earlier to if anything opens on a lead car, such as a hood, trunk, hatch, the roof flies off, which has happened. I'm not making that up.
Nick Novak and
then it can be considered a distraction to the chase driver. But in this case, it was the chase driver who tapped the wall and had his trunk open, so that will not be held against him, other than the wall tap kind of upsetting his kind of line and angle through there. So
yeah, the attitude of the vehicle. Hey, if you haven't picked up your Lean Customs pins, Lean Customs sponsoring Matt Field, and it creates all these pins. Nick Novak's was made this round of competition. I can't remember who the other ones were, but again, limited edition, so check them out at every round of Formula Drift, or go to Lean Customs. They just dropped one on Network of a John Sabal's vehicle, so love the guys at Lean. Shout out to Hansel and the guys. Here we go. Now Daniel Stuke will lead M-Spec Performance S15. Sopa giving a thumbs up. Here we go. Daniel Stuke will lead M-Spec Performance vehicle. Ken Gushi giving chase. Gushi kind of out there, needs to join the party, and he does. He gets right in formation in the pocket as we describe it in the second outside zone. Very fluid by Daniel Stuke. And down into that third outside zone, Ken Gushi quite a few vehicle lengths back into that final outside zone goes Stuke, and both of them executing it. But again, Ken Gushi needs to join that conversation, kind of few cars back. What are your thoughts there, Ryan, as we take a look at it once again?
I saw a couple of big handbrake pulls from Stuke, so I'm not going to have to pay attention to that. First one was at initiation. There's no decel zone at initiation, so you kind of see a longer handbrake pull there. Gushi was close. I don't know if it affected him, so let's watch the replay again. I'm sure we'll have a couple of them to watch. And then right there, I think Stuke had another one in zone 2. Through 3, you can see Stuke mid to wide line there. Gushi mimicking pretty well, and then through zone 4, Stuke does have a wider line, but in the chase position, Gushi is a little bit inside. So let's watch right here. If you look at Stuke's back wheels, yeah, there was a handbrake pull right there into zone, which is not really where we want to see that. We're looking at the throttle in that location. So that has the opportunity to maybe throw Gushi off a little bit. And then Gushi, like I said, is just a little bit inside there at outside zone 4. Could be a little further out, a little bit wider out to where he should be. But overall, I think Gushi did a really great job leading and chasing. Stuke had some moments of brilliance, but Stuke's big mistake was missing the majority, or at least the last maybe 2/3 of outside zone number 1, and being on a poor line in the chase position going into outside zone number 2, which he also missed the majority of. So that's going to weigh pretty heavily on the decision here, and I think it might go towards Gushi.
All right, well, we'll see. Again, you chose Ken Gushi, and there it is. Kenshiro Gushi gets the win. Daniel Stuke knocked out. Love the way you elaborated on that. Just those little fine nuances that you guys are picking up, and that's why utilize instant replay, looking at, as you described, all the inputs. What describe inputs to somebody that is maybe just watching and saying, they're doing sideways burnouts. What are inputs?
So inputs would be, what are you doing on the throttle? What are you doing on the steering wheel? And what are you doing on the handbrake? You also have your foot brake. So anything that you can do with your hands or feet basically in the car to adjust the attitude, the forward momentum of the vehicle is going to be considered an input. So it's going to affect the attitude of the car, and it's going to affect what happens to the chase car because they're trying to match what you're doing. So those inputs need to be done in a way that is predictable and in the right place. So decel, foot brake, or handbrake needs to be done in the decel zones.
And not violently as well, because a lot of people, you'll see left foot brake, those front wheels stopping, the hand brake, you'll see that back wheel stopping, causing the car to slide back. You don't want it to do it to a degree where it's like so violent.
Exactly. It has to be smooth, and it has to be, like I said, predictable. It's what we're going for so that we can have close tandem battles, and everybody understands that, but sometimes you make a mistake in the car. Your car is going offline and you need to correct it, so you grab that handbrake or you slow down in the wrong spot. It's not that they're doing it purposefully, we hope.
No, right.
In the majority of the cases, it's not.
No.
But what it's going to do is affect that chase driver, and we just have to analyze how much it did and score it accordingly.
Here we are with the second run of this battle. Taylor Hull will now lead. Dylan Hughes will give chase. We saw Dylan Hughes go violently into that rumble strip into outer zone 4, and it looks like we are going to get a restart. So a good opportunity again, where Taylor Hull will lead. That comp cams, Kenda tires, Wild Willie's Corvette. So he did call that competition timeout earlier, the NGK competition timeout. So didn't get the final verdict on the repercussions of Dylan Hughes. I believe he had to call his competition timeout. He did go off course, but I don't know if there was kind of some gray area there because, just reviewing the tail of the tape.
Yeah. So right here we had a restart due to a cone being hit. I wasn't sure because you couldn't see the cone, knock it over. But jostled. If it gets knocked out of the box that it's in on the ground, that's considered a cone hit. So the restart was formed.
Okay, thank you very much for clarification. Taylor Hull leading. Let's see if Dylan Hull, Dylan Hughes. Oh boy.
Wow, he dropped the tire very aggressively off the track there, and it seriously affected. I think it debeated that tire, and it sent the car kind of jumping off the off side of the track there. So that is the big result of dropping a tire now in that zone. Outside zone 1 has been worn out from tires being dropped in that area over and over again. And it looks like Taylor Hull was the victim of getting that tire down in the dirt, and it just hooked up, DB'd the tire, and kind of threw the car up in the air.
Watch this. The wheel just digs in and just straightens it out. That could have been a lot worse, unfortunately, for Dylan Hughes, but Taylor Hull looked like it was an independent incident. You see him just initiate. That back right goes off, digs in, straightens him out, and he, again, goes continually off course. So unfortunate for Taylor Hull. Dylan Hughes.
You did it again.
I know, I did. I know. Well,
Taylor Hughes and Dylan Hull. I know.
Again, I'm a visual person. I can see the H and the U, and I continue doing that. All right, so hey,
That's fine, Jared.
I know it's fine.
I'm not giving
Thank
you a hard time.
You sound like Ryan Sager. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
Speaking of Royal Purple, if you haven't been by the Royal Purple booth, Royal Purple, the synthetic experts, the official engine oil of Formula Drift. Dylan Hughes will be over there during halftime break. Place your bets if you haven't, either in fantasy or actual monetary gain. Do it now. Just pick a side. Available to play in 33 states. This is Formula Drift Fantasy. Freddie, field, pick red, pick blue. Take the red pill, take the blue pill. This ain't the Matrix. This is Formula Drift Fantasy. So join the action now. Scan that QR code. Visit formulad.com as the outcome. We inputting them here. Slide them left for Hughes, right for Taylor Hull. And Dylan Hughes gets the win. Dylan Hughes unanimously gets the win. So elaborate here. He did have to use his comp timeout, correct?
I'm not sure what happened with that. Okay. We just told him to get to the line. I think they were going to figure that out later. But he did get a tire back on the car, got out there to drive. And unfortunately now you can see the negative result of dropping a tire in outside zone 1. So I think that drivers are going to be much more serious about keeping their tires on the surface of the track. It would be in their best interest to do so. This has just been worn out, like I said, over the last 3 days. These big, massive, 295 tires digging in the dirt at high speed. They can tear up pavement sometimes. Big chunks of pavement will come off if there's a little bit of a loose surface somewhere. So imagine what it does to dirt. And it dug down pretty deep. And unfortunately for Taylor Hull, it led to his knocking out of competition here.
That's
so
right.
We are going to go to a commercial break.
Yep. When we come back, don't go anywhere. We got more continuation of the Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32 here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Clean up here on aisle 1.
What's up, guys? I'm Ryan Turk, and we're here at Round 5 Formula Drift St. Louis, and we are here in Outer Zone 4, which is the hardest zone to hit on the track, and it all stems from Outer Zone 2, where if you hit Outer 2 perfectly, you run it nice and wide, you're gonna get into Outer 3 really well with a lot of speed. You wanna fill that entire zone perfectly, right up against those barriers. You're gonna come out of it, add some angle to it for a little bit of a slowdown, and it's gonna set you up really nicely for a big, clean transfer here into Outer 4, which is the hardest zone to fill. It's a little bit awkward, and it's really tough to get the entry into it. So if you come out of Outer 3 nice and perfect, it's all gonna go gravy. You're gonna nail this Outer Zone 4. You're right in front of the judges. It's gonna give you some maximum points, and it all stems from Outer Zone 2. And that is your BC Racing clip tip.
Link ECU. We know what it takes to win. Pushing boundaries, performing under pressure, and having the best people on your team. Link ECU, the performance, reliability, and power to get to the podium.
One bottle, so many great things. When your engine reaches 75,000 miles or more, like on this truck, years of carbon buildup leads to reduced fuel economy, increased wear, poor acceleration, and higher emissions. Max Restore is specifically designed for high-mileage engines with quality PEA and proprietary detergents to remove those stubborn legacy deposits. And it includes a friction modifier to reduce future wear in the upper cylinder of your vehicle's engine. Restore performance and protect your high-mileage engine with Royal Purple Max Restore.
I watched my first race yesterday.
You're on the team, kid. It's orientation day.
Hey, new guy, let's get you up to speed.
Lunchtime. Your workspace is ready.
Looks like you got a corner office.
Be part of something greater. Toyota. Let's go places.
NGK makes ignition coils. Why? Because we prefer a running partner that can keep pace. We know ignition, and since our spark plugs don't run alone, we put some of our energy and expertise into making better coils. NGK ignition coils are engineered to OE durability and performance. And because we race to win, we improve the design, testing, and validation of our coils for better performance. NGK spark plugs and coils, better together.
Yeah, what's up, buddy? Look at my man's barefoot, fancy free. I can't see that. Oh, Cash. He's got a little Pride of Paducah shirt on. Got all our fans. We got FD shirts on. We got umbrellas. So my man's shirtless over there. All right, it's hot. Look at this. That's you can see right off in the back the St. Louis Arch. Just found out the design of the St. Louis Arch thanks to my man Brian Eggert. Was designed by the same guy who basically designed the Dulles Airport, the TWA Hotel, the tulip chairs, some pretty cool things. So yeah, it's Eero Saarinen.
Do you think he had a directive like design us an arch, or if they said design us something cool that'll make it feel like St. Louis?
Yeah,
what do you think his directive was?
I think just make something cool.
Make something cool, and he said, "I want to do an arch."
Right. Well, they call it the Gateway to the West, you know, and a blue-collar city. Again, we talk about Anheuser-Busch and all this history here. So, all right, before we move on to our next battle, get this track prepped. We throw it down to one of the drivers who's been around, since 16 years old, Lorette. I remember when he was knee-high, and here he is now. You're talking with him. Lorette, down to you.
You remember when Ken Gushi was 16 years old? That's awesome. Now, one of the OGs Jared was just talking about, you take the win. We are seeing you move into top 16. But as you told me in New Jersey, you're driving a ticking time bomb.
Yeah, the team has been doing a phenomenal job keeping the car together and my mind in check. But actually, the car's feeling good right now, so we're just having a great time out here. The battle against Dan Stuke was a fun one. He's a good friend of mine, so it was just an all-out match. There's a lot of areas where I need to clean up on my driving, but yeah, we're just out here having a great time. The car's running good, so pretty happy about that.
And I'm so glad to hear that the car's running so well and that you're doing equally as well. You told me that since this is the last East Coast round, you're really looking forward to get to the West Coast to do a refresh on the car.
Yeah, there's a lot of areas where we need to address once the car gets back to the West Coast, home base in Los Angeles. I'm just happy that the East Coast leg is coming to an end and we get to go back home and work on the car for a much-needed mid-season refresh.
Well, I would imagine that everyone watching you driving, including me, we know that you are a very capable driver, and that confidence in yourself must be driving you forward.
Well, it's not just myself. It's definitely my team playing a huge part of my driving confidence, and what you see out there is mainly because my team has me in check and just keeping the car together.
So keeping you in check when you are behind the wheel of the car, when those lights are about to go out, are they telling you anything? Are they giving you words of encouragement before you start the run?
Well, for example, if there's something going on with the car, they'll make sure I don't know about it. They won't tell me any of the problems that we're facing. They'll just tell me don't worry about it and just go all out, have fun, and that's what we've been doing. And it seems to be working, so we'll keep at it with that kind of attitude.
Okay, we love that. Ken, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. Guys?
Thank you so much, Lorette, and thank you for the insight there, Kenshiro Gushi, as we are taking a look. There is our three-time and back-to-back defending champion. Not back-to-back-to-back, but most recently 21 and 22. The Rockstar Energy Drink, Toyota GR Supra. And we could see, as we are in the Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32, Odi Bakchis, Mike Power. Odi Bakchis, S15, fairly evenly stacked Mike Power, a little bit of bad luck here and there. I think it just needs to get more seat time. It's just not driving like the Mike Power we've seen from yesteryear. But that Type S S15 still looking menacing, but he's going against Bakchis, who, you know, has just been on it and probably one of the best chase drivers on the grid. So Bakchis will lead, Mike Power giving chase. And here comes the field suspension, S15. Transitioning into that first outside zone. Good aggressive initiation from Mike Power. Big angle there from Bakchis. Mike Power, good proximity, very smooth. Pulling away from Power is Bakchis. Now into that third outside zone. Man, really flirting with that red and white wall. Outer zone 3, and then drops it right into that last outside zone, staying clear and away from that red and white rumble strip, which again is off course. Treat that like grass, treat that like a wall.
All right, so Odie here initiating, getting the car to angle really nicely. Mike Power in the chase position, doing a good job through outside zone 1, but I think it falls apart a little bit through outside zone 2. You can see right there he had a bobble, a hesitation, while Odie's doing a great job through zone 2. In the chase, Mike Power kind of had an issue there, and then didn't fill 2, didn't fill 3, and a little bit inside of 4 as well. So Mike Power's missing a big chunk of these zones. He did a great job in 1. Look at where his top car is positioned. That is a good place to be. Could be a little bit closer, but right there, misses outside zone 2 by a large margin. And then outside zone 3, not great there either. Outside zone 4, same thing. So 2, 3, 4, he had an issue in, but 1 he did great. So we switch positions now. Odie did a really clean lead run, put this car very precisely where it needed to be, slowed the car down properly. So Mike Power needs to do at least that to stay in the game. And in the chase position, basically, Odie just has to mimic what he's doing, stay with him, and he'll be fine, comparison-wise.
Yeah, nothing extraneous is what
exactly.
you're saying. Yeah,
because Mike Power did make a lot of errors there. In qualifying, that would have been 30 points off right off the bat just for being offline like that. So we really need those chase drivers to clean it up. So in this case, Odie just needs to match the line, the angle, stay close.
All right, here we go. Mike Power out front. As you said, he needs to throw down a banger of a lead run, and he does. Look at that big, nasty initiation from Mike Power. That's the aggressive driver we know and love, the Type S S15 from the East Coast. Now into that third outside zone. He's doing exactly what you asked, Ryan, and look at this. Now in that last outside zone 4, big angle. He comes up a bit outside. He hits it and quits it, gets out about halfway through outside zone 4, but what great driving there. I mean, talk about X factor. If he did that in qualifying, talk about qualifying, the deficit, but was it enough?
Right, great initiation, like you said, great angle through outside zone 1. The line was perfect, was right on the edge of the track. Does a great job in zone 2. Odie's right there with him though. Not as close as we'd like to see, but again, you can see there he left a little bit early. In outside zone number 3, that's Odie I'm talking about, but right there, Mike Power does not fill outside zone number 4. I think Odie, lead to lead, did a better job. And if you go chase to chase, Odie did have a couple of flubs there, wasn't perfect in the chase position. We have a side-by-side. It's the BC Racing side-by-side.
BC Racing, go for gold side-by-side.
So we're going to watch that side-by-side and really compare. Hopefully they'll be lined up really well. The guys have been doing a great job for us so far, and we'll be able to compare really well what happened here. Right, so it's high in the sky, it's the perfect view. As they both get to angle, you can see Odie's on the inside a little bit, so I think Mike Power did a better job in the chase in zone 1, but that's where his chase kind of falls apart a little bit. You can see Odie doing a much better job of mimicking what Mike Power was doing there in Mike Power's lead run. And as they transition, pretty similar through outside zone 418. Power is a little bit further inside. Odie is definitely on the right line. Proximity-wise, very similar, but I think that the errors that Power made in his chase run are just too big to overcome.
All right, let's take a look. Are we going to get a verdict here? I know I'm seeing you type yours in or punch yours in.
All right, here it is.
And here it is. Slide him left for Odie, right for Mike Power. We get Bakchis gets the win unanimously. So Odie gets the win. All right, moving on to our next battle. Getting some texts from my man Hansel at Link Custom. Says, when is Matt going? When is Matt going? He's going right now. So just letting them know again that Link Customs pins got was supposed to be. Yep. So I am seeing Adam LZ and Matt Field. Adam LZ qualifying 12th. out-qualifying a current points leader, but keep in mind, Adam LZ has some momentum, has a lot of confidence in his corner in that Mustang RTR because he got the win most recently in New Jersey. That track suited him really well. I think this is another track that he could do well at. You know, New Jersey, a lot of outside zones, very fluid, it's flat, no big banks. 4 outside zones, no inside clips. So he could do really, really well here, but again, a lot of confidence there for Adam LZ coming here into St. Louis. But he's going again against our #1 points leader, our winner in Long Beach. So, yeah.
Well, that's an important thing you just pointed out. They both won around this season so far, so they're both very capable competitors, and they're going up against each other right now, and they're big V8 American cars, so this should be very interesting to watch.
It should be a lot of fun to watch here. Adam LZ will lead in that RTR Spec 5 FD. Matt Field giving chase. He's in that Borla exhaust, Heat Wave Visual Lean Customs. And here we go with the blazing white Forge Stars with the GT radials wrapped around them. Let's see what we got here. Adam LZ leads that run, goes into that first outside zone, and look at that, applying the pressure. The beast from the Bay, leaving no room for error into that second outside zone. Look at the angle from Adam LZ. Matt Field not backing down, not giving him any room to breathe. Into that third outside zone. How are they going to manage this? The last outside zone. Both of them flick it in there. Really well done. Again, aggressive, man. Here we are in the 32. Adam LZ, who, you know, can't really go for a championship. This is last event of the 4 that he's going to do this year.
Yeah. Great initiation by both drivers. You can see that right there, LZ did drop that tire, and I think it maybe slowed him down slightly, but you could see in the chase position that maybe Field was affected by it because his zone 2 was not great in the chase position there. Field does get back on the line and matches what LZ's doing through the majority of the course, but it's right here in zone 1. Yeah, that could be due to LZ being off track and potentially slowing down a little bit and threw Matt Field off in that section. That is a possibility, but Field did get back on it and get back to the right line. Not super close in proximity, but was mimicking pretty much what LZ was doing. So that outside zone 1 is going to be causing some problems. It already has caused some big problems for a couple of drivers, and I think it's going to continue to do so. You just got to keep that car on the track. Once you throw it in, the thing there is it's very difficult to gauge the grip level. You know, as you throw it in, you're trying to, we try to get this out of the drivers, but they always try to get away from the chase drivers. So if they can go a little bit faster and be right on the edge, sometimes they push a little too much. They go a little bit too fast and they drop that tire. And it's always going to start rearing its head as we get further into competition here.
Yeah, kind of outkick your coverage. Don't overcook it, as we say, but keep it on the track, keep it with good angle. And I'll tell you what, Matt Field, watch this. I think he's going to go for it really big. He knows that LZ has it under the hood of the RTR and in the cockpit. Now in that second outside zone, good flick, really good and fluid by both the drivers in outside zone 3. How's Matt Field going to manage? Really close to that wall, little shimming there from Adam LZ in that chase position. Matt Field running right to the edge of the track. Man, we are splitting hairs here, and this is showing that the cars are coming alive. They figured it out. Like I said, man and machine are in synchronicity. Great job by both the drivers on this battle here in the 32.
Yes. Matt Field definitely more accurate here in outside zone 1. Look at where he is on the edge of the track. In the chase, LZ not as deep as Field was, taking advantage of that slight compromise of being inside a little bit there, but manages to do better in the proximity game than Matt did in his chase. But LZ has the benefit of a really solid lead run. What happened in the first run with LZ dropping a tire and potentially throwing that off could affect him pretty seriously, but that's going to be up to the other judges to decide on their own. You know, my opinion is my own for my decision. But I really like what Field did in the lead here. He poured on a little bit of angle there at the end of zone 1 and got himself into a big flick for outside zone number 4. So from 3 to 4, really great job by both drivers. LZ did have good proximity and mimic throughout the run, but again, he had the benefit of a really clean lead run.
All right, waiting for the verdict. Sopa looking, and you know who else is looking on right now? Odi Bakchis, because whoever wins goes against Odi Bakchis. So there we are in the pits, analyzing the run, seeing, you know, you have your spotter, which Odi has his wife, Amy, but again, the Bakchis camp has a lot of knowledge with the track. You know, think about Ben Hobson, just one pro spec. That's who's on his team. Simon Olsen, he's here in pro, so they're gonna have a lot of feedback, a lot of insight on this track. So slide him left for LZ or right for Matt Field, and Matt Field gets the victory unanimously. Now, Ryan, again, Adam LZ, great effort there, going against the points leader. What were the standout elements to make it unanimous, or why did he get it? Was it by great measure, or was it by a hair? What was the deciding factor for you?
It really came down to LZ dropping a tire in zone 1 with a lot of angle and slowing down and not giving Matt Field the opportunity to chase. That completely ruined Matt's chase run, and you can't put the other errors that Matt made beyond that on Matt, because he was trying to adapt after getting choked up in the lead position. Now, when Matt got in the lead, he did a phenomenal job, and of course LZ's going to have a good chase. He's got an amazing lead. Now, LZ did miss a bit of outside zone 1 in his chase, so, you know, he didn't do a perfect job while he did a great job. So it goes to Matt because of the error that LZ made. That big error caused a big kind of disturbance, let's say, in the run. So.
A disturbance in the force.
Yes.
All right, the chase for the championship brought to you by GoPro. We got that live GoPro going around, but let's take a look at the chase for the championship here this season. This is it. The finals are set. The lights are on. Who is going to win? Celebrating 20 years of FD, baby. 4 rounds, 4 different winners. Send it. Here we go. This is Formula Drift, and we are on the streets of Long Beach for the first round. This is a grudge match. Your winner, Matt the Beast from the Bay, Welcome out to Road Atlanta. This is round 2 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. Bakchis Jr., 2-time champion. Bakchis Jr., the Carroll Shelby of our generation right now.
The battles that we had at Orlando, I mean, they were intense. There was a lot of contact with the inside.
Aasbo! Whoa, are you kidding me? Look at that!
You know how Chelsea always drives. It's very exciting to see.
That was awesome! This is Englishtown Raceway Park, also known as Round 4. Simon Olsen, Adam LZ, neither have had a Formula Drift overall win, and one of them is going to make history. This is an absolute gladiator battle right here. We're only at the halfway point. 4 more rounds, 4 more winners. We'll see you in St. Louis. Send it, Formula Drift Nation.
Well, this man right here takes the win, and he is a gentleman wearing many hats. Team owner, driver, and he's currently sitting 6th in the championship points. His driver, Simon Olsen, is in 5th, and in Prospect we have Ben Hobson in the lead. Odie, that is amazing. Look at what you've created here.
Yeah, it's so good, and I wish I could have celebrated with Ben a little more, but I was in the zone. Simon was in the zone. We're all here to win ourselves. So, but after this weekend, yeah, Ben's first win, and he's leading the championship, and Simon's doing really well. So it's overall a lot of work, but man, it's paying off.
So happy for you. And you said today in practice there was some issues that you were chasing, so you didn't have a lot of time to practice. What are those issues, and do you have them resolved?
Yeah, honestly, there's just some things that were coming loose that are not typically on our nut and bolt list, not something that we have to check, and it just kind of bit us, you know. We're a little over halfway through the season. Typically right now, the cars go back to California to HQ, and they're going back after this round and getting a full, clean, and everything gets dismantled, put back together. So I think we missed that mark by just a little bit, but the boys are on it. They find whatever's loose and get me out on track. So the car's feeling great.
And you're going to see frenemy Matt Field next in battle, top 16. What's your thoughts?
Oh yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. Yeah, we're going to push hard, and I feel confident, so it'll be a good time.
Love the confidence, love the smile of Odie Bakchis. Guys.
Thank you so much, Lorette. Yeah, so Odie Bakchis, so many accolades going on with his camp right now. It's very cool. Jonathan Hurst, Trenton Beacham. I know we got the Pride of Paducah with a few different fans here. Saw that Cash Racing shirts on some fans. Trenton Beacham, again, that Clonex BMW coming to us from Southern California. There we go. So Mr. Cool, that's his name. That name again is Mr. Cool, is we could see the pride of Paducah, Jonathan Hurst, getting a new livery here. And here is Trenton Beacham. So Jonathan Hurst will lead. All right, Jonathan Hurst leading and Trenton Beacham giving chase. We are halfway through, actually more than halfway through, because of Nick Novak with that by run qualifying second. So right now, some more BMWs for your diet. Here comes Jonathan Hurst into that first outside zone. Big angle there. Kind of leaving Trent Beacham in the dust, or in the smoke in this case. No dust being thrown up into that third outside zone. Look at Jonathan Hurst. Really placing the car in the right places. Trent Beacham needs to catch up. Man, Jonathan Hurst, look at this run right there. I mean, as far as qualifying, that'd be in the high 80s, maybe even the 90s. Again, Jonathan Hurst, really, really well done by him.
Yeah, great lead run from Hurst. He was right on the edge of outside zone 1. That tire was probably hanging over the edge, but it didn't end up in the dirt. So his momentum was good, his line was good. You can see he's right there on the edge. A little bit less angle from Beacham in the chase position, sort of on the same line, but then comes off the line. Doesn't fill outside zone number 2. Going towards outside zone number 3. Beacham does have a little bit less angle. Proximity's not there. He didn't fill outside zone number 3 the way that Hurst did. Outside zone 4, sort of the same situations. Let's watch again here from the high-speed drone as they come through zone 1. Great job from Hurst in the lead position. Beacham's just trying to catch up, it looks like, in the chase position there. He needs to get his car better positioned and get it closer. Misses part of outside zone 3 there. And as they transition, he over-rotates the car for that corner and the speed that he had going in it, and he wasn't able to fill 4 and still wasn't able to make up that proximity gap. So, as they swap roles now, Beacham is going to be in the lead. He needs to run right on the outside edge of outside zone 1. He needs to fill 2, fill 3, fill 4. And in the chase position now, Hurst has an opportunity to better mimic what Trenton's doing in the lead, get in the same line, stay close.
All right, come on now, Trent Beacham. Thrown down for the West Coast. And look at Jonathan Hurst right there riding on the door of Trent Beacham. Very good angle from Trent Beacham. The Mr. Cool BMW has to back off a little bit, but then he lunges back forward. And now that last outside zone, a big flick by Beacham, but he ends up coming up just a bit short. Some contact banging on it. And again, trying to come unwound, but again, makes his presence felt physically and kind of mentally there. Because again, Beacham tried to throw it in that last outside zone, just comes up a bit short.
Beacham went for it here. He really had a great initiation. He was on the edge of the track, but look who's right there beside him. Jonathan Hurst, not giving him an inch. You can see right there how they both went through zone 2. Beacham was a little bit deeper. Hurst wasn't filling it quite as well. Same thing for 3, but I think that Hurst did a much better job there than he did in 2. But outside zone 4 is where Beacham did not fill that zone. He didn't get all the way out, which in the lead position, when Hurst was in the lead, Hurst did a better job through that section. It looked like Beacham had to pull some angle out through outside zone 3, maybe getting too close to the wall. He went a little bit low angle through that area. So overall, I think that Beacham went for it, especially the angle he threw through 4, but he wasn't on the quite on the right line. Had he thrown that amount of angle and been on the right line, his zone 4 would have been incredible. But you can see, even though he was slightly offline there, Hurst was with him, followed him where he was going, stayed nice and close and mimicked his line.
Yeah, again, a great effort by Trenton Beacham. Just Hurst was just that much more refined. He just that little scotch that just made it, again, just that much richer.
Yeah, just a little bit more.
Yep.
Hurst, of course, has a little more experience in that BMW. You know, Trent, this is his first season, I believe, in the BMW,
yes,
so get him a little more seat time in there, tune the car a little bit better. He definitely has a lot of potential, and he showed that in his lead run here.
At Vitor BMW, next up, Frederick Aasbo, the Rockstar Energy Drink, Toyota GR Supra Nitto tires. Freddie going against Alec Robbins. We've seen some great things from Alec. Now, like we said, in Jersey, Frederick Aasbo out early in 32, suffered some issues there, but now, I mean, there's a lot at stake here for the Norwegian Hammer. Alec Robbins, like I said, we've seen some great things from him here in St. Louis. He got #1 qualifier before here, so look out. Alec Robbins ain't no pushover. And again, but Frederick Aasbo, like I said, 3-time champion and defending champion. Not 3 in a row, but overall, definitely he is one to watch. So Alec Robbins chasing him down in that self-made status .co 350Z powered by Holley EFI. You can see Alec Robbins doing a little stutter start here. Staggered. He's going to try to launch out so you can see him. That's going to work out for him. Got a lot of horsepower with this Toyota GR Supra. Bang! Right there. Look at Alec Robbins. And he tries to risk it, but ends up biting into the dust. Here we go to that second outside zone. Frederick Aasbo almost practically dragging that gold Rockstar bumper on that second outside zone to the third outside zone. With the tire to be being thrown up. And Alec Robbins shreds that back bumper. He goes off course. And it looks like Freddie Aasbo continues on as Robbins knew he was going against and kind of risked it all. But unfortunately, it's like maybe has some, I don't know. Okay.
That's broken.
Yeah, I thought so, right? Like one-wheeler peeler?
Yeah, well, was that the right rear is severely towed in,
Is it
I
towed?
think? It looked like it would.
Yeah.
It didn't look right. But he knew he had to throw out a Hail Mary here against Aasbo.
Yeah.
He, going into the initiation into outside zone 1, he definitely threw it in hard. He was really close. Got a little bit too close, though. Bumped into him, dropped a tire, and fell off a little bit after that. It looks like maybe that's the way his car's set up. Feels like it's good to go. And potentially that was just the guys are going to go look at it and see what's up with it. Peel that bumper off maybe and get him back on the track. And there we have Deane Kearney suiting up and helmeting up and getting in that Dodge Viper.
Saw him pound the roof of that Dodge Viper, and he qualified third, just outside of getting a bye run. And he's number 3 qualifier is Deane Kearney, and Nick Novak qualified second, and Kazuya Taguchi qualifying first. So Taguchi and Novak with their bye runs. Deane Kearney will be going against Brandon Sorensen, who is piloting Amanda Sorensen, his sister's vehicle in Prospect. So up there on the line is Alec Robbins waving, there's Deane Kearney from Ireland. So contact there.
Yeah.
So Aasbo says, I saw Stefan Papadakis pop up here into the judging booth and say, hey, let's get an inspection on that because there was contact made.
Yeah.
That could, as kind of mild as it may look, it might be actually more wild than it seems.
For sure. So let's look at how both cars are moving here as they get into the initiation. It looked like Robbins was clearly very aggressive as he went into outside zone 1. Tried to get really close to Aasbo. He knew he needed to get close immediately because he would never be able to catch up to that Toyota Supra later on in the track. It was either get close soon, take a chance to get there and stay with him for the entirety of the run, or stay back and hope for the best. And he took the first option. Got real close, but got too close. Made contact with Aasbo, and I believe the Papadakis team wants to look at Aasbo's car.
And rightfully so, because
absolutely.
it was Robbins. It was Robbins at fault, right?
I believe. I haven't talked to anybody, and I think they have a fault. Let me ask Pat.
Yeah, I'll let you focus. Again, priority for you, Ryan Lontaine. You are a judge. So Robin Ishida, Lontaine, and Chris Ewell are judges. All right, analyzing all the footage here, seeing what's going on. Robbins and Aasbo. All right, so just overhearing what's transpiring here with these guys. Yeah, unfortunately, Adam LZ is a wrap. You can see Colette Davis, his girlfriend there, leaning on the car. But Adam LZ, I know he's got his LZ World Tour going down. Let's throw down to Lorette Nickel, who's with the Mustache One.
All right. Well, I am moving in. Hi, Colette. Adam LZ, your last round of the 2023 season, and for all the fans here, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to thank everybody. What would you like to tell everyone?
Yeah, I'm super appreciative of this opportunity overall. Coming into the season, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do Formula Drift because of scheduling things, so a massive thank you to Vaughn for being willing and open to do this whole half-season thing, because if he wasn't willing to do this, I probably wouldn't be here this year. And for me, in Formula Drift, one of my biggest goals was to win a round, and I was finally able to do that in New Jersey. So for my Formula Drift career, let's say, this was a huge season that probably wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Vaughn and the team being willing to accommodate. So I'm super thankful. Bummed we didn't send Field home in the trailer, but, you know, someone else will.
And can you tell us what your plans are going to be for next year, or is that too early?
Yeah, I won't. I honestly don't know yet. So, yeah.
Adam, thank you so much for everything. Thank you for showing up and always giving your best. It's been a joy to watch you. And again, congratulations. Winning his first round in Englishtown. Congrats for that.
Thank you.
Adam, thanks. Guys.
Thank you, Lorette. I don't know yet, right? That just seems like the simple answer there, but I know the LZ World Tour continues. I believe they're heading over to Ireland here, so I'd love to partake in one of those. So we're seeing Frederick Aasbo heading on over to the pits, but we're more than halfway through. After this, we got 2, 4, 5 more battles, so we got 5.5 battles left here in our Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32. James Deane and Robert Thorne. So we've seen 2 of the RTR Mustangs. Only one has advanced on, that is Chelsea Denofa. And the only gentleman with an RTR under his belt or in his capable hands that has not gotten a win is that James Deane. So again, making the jump across the pond, having not seen him for a few years, it's great to see James Deane back. He's such a humble, good driver. He's so appreciative of the opportunity and to be able to travel the world and drift, and obviously such a talent.
Yes. Do you know how to pronounce the name of his hometown? Castle Down Roche. Is it right?
Bless you. I was going to say Cork, but that's where Deane Kearney's from. He's from Cork, I believe.
Are they competitors in terms of where they're from in Ireland, do you think? Like,
no, nobody's invited me to Ireland, but I'll go out there and inspect and drink a lot of Guinness if you want me to. I have no problem doing that. Could it be? Could we see 4 in a row for RTR? Could it be James Deane? Well, guess what? Robert Thorne, our Prospect champion from 2022, would love to put a halt to that, but James Deane will lead. James Deane again out-qualifying Robert Thorne. Into this first outside zone, James Deane, massive angle there. Robert Thorne drops in the formation, not as deep, but now he gets that great proximity there. James Deane, lean and smooth and tiny in the outside zone. Great dragging bumper and bounces back out in his final outside zone. Goes James Deane using all the course. Wow, but I'll tell you what, Robert Thorne was right there. Really good job. I got to tell you, on initiation, outside zone 1, it seemed like Robert was a little bit off, but then he got right to the side of him. But look at the placement of James Deane's car. I mean, the bumper, I believe, compressed and then went right back out.
Yeah, that would have been a really high-scoring qualifying run, I think, Jared. You can see Thorne in the chase position there doing his best, not quite on the widest line and not really matching the angle until right about here. But James Deane, just the widest run you could possibly have without putting the car into the wall in a serious negative way. Like you said, the bumper sort of compressed on outside zone number 3. But look at that, beautiful job there. Thorne is not in outside zone 1, but making that compromise to maintain proximity and hoping that it pays off for him in the long run. And watch, look at that, right on the wall, all the way through there is James Deane. Good transition from both drivers. But Robert Thorne is making some compromises to maintain that proximity, and that's sort of what you have to do in the chase position when you're up against a faster car, which potentially this is. So you have to compromise line, angle, whatever you can to maintain that proximity. And of course, proximity looks good, right? That's what we want to see.
Yeah.
But as we analyze a little bit closer, we're going to be looking at how each driver is making compromises to maintain that proximity. So you do have to try to stay on the right line, mimic the angle. But of course, it's all comparative. So what is James Deane going to do in the chase position now with Robert Thorne? Thorne has to put his car everywhere perfectly to just match what James Deane did in his lead run. So right on the edge of the track in 1, right on the wall in 2, in 3, and in 4. Otherwise, he's going to have a deficit to James Deane's lead. And then in the chase position, Deane needs to match what Thorne's doing. So get his car positioned in the pocket, keep that proximity on, make everything of course.
Here we go, Robert Thorne out front. I got to tell you, his driving has progressed here in Pro. This is rookie year in the Pro Championship. James Deane looks like he's given a little bit of breathing room, but maybe too much. Nope, now he gets right to the side of him. Now catching up into that third outside zone. Great job by Thorne. Look at this, Thorne out front. He's putting down a heater of a run. Robert Thorne looks like he exceeds that red and white. He does drop a little bit of a tire on the red and white rumble strip. And here we are taking a look at it. So, man, some great driving there by both the guys.
Great initiation from both drivers here. You can see that in the chase position, Deane is cheating a little bit, making a bit of a compromise, and going into outside zone 2 as well. in the chase position. In the lead, Thorne is putting his car where it should be. He left outside zone 3 a little bit early, but overall doing a great job. And in the chase, you can see that James Deane is sort of making a couple of compromises himself. Not as bad as what Thorne did, but just a couple of little ones here and there. Thorne does a good job through zone number 2. Not quite the angle that we'd like to see through that zone. He sacrificed a little bit there in the lead position. But overall, great job by Robert Thorne here against how many years champion was James Deane?
3.
3 years.
3-time back-to-back-to-back, 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Notably. So again, great driving by Robert Thorne. I know making the jump from prospect to pro with the ASM, the Smetagard Racing, a traditional race car driver, a very, very talented driver. But let's see where we're at, and we're taking a look at Frederick Aasbo's camp. Look like I did see him change out the Forge Star wheels with some Nitto tires. But let's see again, James Deane. You know, again, that RTR camp with that 3-peat graphic, the shirt, all that, but can he be a 4-peat, or 4 in a row, excuse me. James Deane, slide it left for him, right for Robert Thorne, one more time, and one more time. So, and again, all right, taking a look. You guys going one more time down there? All right, so again, Chris Yule, Robin Ishida. Down to you, Chris Yule, if we can have some words with you. And Chris, you went one more time, you and Robbie.
Yes, sir. Thorne's chase was like so good, mimicking the angle. And James's chase in outer 1 specifically, he was pretty shallow. So I just felt like I just wanted to see it again.
Yeah.
You know, I think Thorne just overshadowed him slightly in the lead, or in the chase, whereas lead wasn't quite as good, so it was kind of ticky-tack back and forth.
Yeah, so you can see it right there. So a little bit of shallowness.
Yeah, and James Deane's outer 1 in the lead there was a little bit shallow.
And from here on out, like 2 to 4, they're almost identical.
Yeah, so I mean, we're kind of trading mistakes at that point. But Thorne's mimic from 3 to 4 was just so good.
Yeah, good eye. I like it. And Ryan, I know you can chime in. You went with James Deane.
I did, yeah.
But you know, you just think that James is lead or chase is more superior?
I just felt like overall he did a better job. A couple of little areas, like you said, it was very close, trading off little errors. Thorne, I think, did an amazing job. It was very close, but I just felt that in the chase position, Deane did make a couple of compromises, but they weren't as serious as Thorne's. And in the lead-to-lead comparison, it was pretty similar. I just think that Deane had just like a little bit more edge, especially going into zone 4. So that's just how I felt about it. And of course, we do differ from time to time.
Absolutely, yeah. And just that little hair, that little perspective, that angle, right? No pun intended. But Robert Thorne, you could see he's got a smile on his face, man. I mean, he's going against a 3-time champion. He is, a very accomplished traditional racer, but coming into Formula Drift as a pro, he is the 2022 Prospect champion. Him coming in here, really well done. Deane Kearney, Brandon Sorensen. Deane Kearney, number 3 qualifier. And take a note, his car normally blue. He's got the pink livery because that's his sister's vehicle. That's Amanda Sorensen's vehicle that she competed in Prospect earlier today. So that car has seen a lot of track action today. But here we go, Deane Kearney. He's definitely wants to show up here, driving that Hyper NFT Dodge Viper. Shots fired across the nose of that BMW, but here he is. So again, man, it looked like he dropped tire, but did not see any dust being kicked up at all. And like you said, Ryan, you're talking about how this vehicle really likes throttling down. It looks like he zip-tied that throttle pedal down. It seems to be working out for him in that final outside zone, throwing Brandon Sorensen maybe a little bit off there into that final outside zone, but again, allowed to decel, and then he stayed on the throttle. He didn't nail that last outside zone, but the 1 through 3, like I said, take note, it looked like the attitude of the car dropped like he dropped a tire, but there's no dust. So I don't know if he even touched dirt.
Maybe we've gone down to the concrete under the dirt that was there, but he definitely did drop a tire. Like you said, not a lot of dust or any at all. In the lead position, Deane's doing a good job through zone 1 and 2, minus that tire drop in 1, of course. In the chase position, though, look at Sorensen right there with him, mimicking line, mimicking angle. The one big mistake that Deane Kearney made was outside zone number 4. He left the zone early. He didn't fill it fully. So right here, Deane Kearney drops that tire, but overall keeps the momentum going, flowing really well. And you can see right there is where Sorensen sort of compromises on the line, gets outside of the box, but he did so to gain the momentum. Gain the momentum he needed to stay in proximity through 3 to 4, and then drops off through 4 a little bit. Now they got to switch positions. Then you have to wonder how well this car is set up, Sorensen's car, because it is a car that's set up for Pro Spec that runs on a narrower tire. Is the power the same? It looks like it is. It looks like it performs very well, right? But now it's performing on a bigger tire, so they may have had to do some changes in suspension to get it to operate, you know, with this bigger tire. But he's making it work, and he needs to do a little bit better through 1, not drop a tire. He needs to do better through 4 by staying on that wide line, and that'll give him an advantage against Deane's lead.
Well, here we go, Brandon Sorensen. Now coming through. Remember, we have that one more time of Thorne and James Deane, but right now Brandon Sorensen. So there we are, dropping tire. These guys, again, maybe getting too aggressive. Maybe the grip levels are changing as well. Now into that 3rd outside zone. Brandon kind of shimmies his way in there. He gets out to the outside zone. Deane Kearney trying to hold tight and keep that proximity. He does tap that wall. And and Brandon shuts it down across the finish line. Looks like he lost power and he goes on the side of him. He did complete that run there, but shut it down very abruptly after the finish line. Don't know exactly why, and I know Deane can sometimes get spirited, like, what the, you know. You know, I can imagine that's what's going to go down, but here, let's look at it again.
I think the bigger issue here is going to be what happened. The lead right there from Sorensen. He got the tire in the dirt, and it affected his angle, and then it threw him off. He missed outside zone 2. You can see low angle there approaching zone 3. And as he transitions for 4, this is where Deane Kearney taps the wall, but stays in drift. But right there at the finish line, you can see that Sorensen did not stay on throttle. He did shut it down. Potentially a mechanical issue.
Well, I think an incomplete, right? I mean, I think that's what your fellow judges are talking about right now. If you run it back, I think going from 1 to 2, you saw him hit. It gets disrupted, the car goes out of attitude, and then throws up a roadblock. We saw this in Pro Spec earlier, and I think that's where it kind of quickly ends for Brandon Sorensen. So as he waves to the crowd, unfortunately, I think he waves goodbye because he's going to be knocked out here, unfortunately, due to that incomplete.
Yeah, there are 2, like, even at the finish line, you could say that was an incomplete because he didn't cross the finish line with power and complete the course and control. The car shut down, whatever the issue was. So 2 areas where you could theoretically incomplete him, but the first one would be outside zone 1, where he drops a tire, straightens up, and that's going to be the I would say official incomplete.
All right. All right, so slide him left for Deane Kearney or right for Brandon Sorensen, and Deane Kearney gets the win. So an incomplete was definitely the nail in the coffin for Brandon Sorensen. Hopefully he gets his car back for next round of competition in Utah. No, he broke his crank, so there, look, I mean, it looks like this car is getting towed off as well. So they got a lot of work on their plate before Seattle for Brandon's vehicle, and then eventually Utah for Amanda Sorensen in that vehicle right there. A few more battles left. We've gone through half of the battles for a few different vehicles. You know, Aasbo and Alec, we had that contact. And then James Deane and Robert Thorne, we have the OMT. And then 3 more battles after that. So plenty of action here. Our schedule, taking a look at it. Keep in mind, local time 6 o'clock. And we're scheduled to go till 7. If we end early, no big deal. But again, we are back here for our top 16 United States Air Force opening ceremonies. And our, again, live stream goes live at 8:30. But we still got more battles. Don't go anywhere when we return here to round 5 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship.
What's going on, everyone? Daniel Ricciardo here. We're going to mount up some GoPros and do a few laps.
Just dropped, thinking about you. Just stopped when I'm without you. My heart just dropped, thinking about you.
Hey guys, Jeff Jones here.
I'm Dylan Hughes.
I'm Travis Reeder.
I'm Ken Gushi.
I'm Matt Field. I drive Link.
They are the most reliable EC around, and they always deliver.
Their global tech support gives me the advice I need every time I need it. Their products are super easy to install and easy to set up for the performance that I want. They stand behind their products and support their customers.
They're always innovating and delivering great new products and performance features.
I drive
Link.
Here we are. Thank you, fans, for showing up. I know some fans are like, all right, it's a little hot. I'm going to wait for the 16, but you are hardcore fans. You guys are sweating it out there. And we got the duck. We got the duck and the paddock. All right, well, Lorette, I'm going to throw it down to you. How's the Thorne feeling?
Well, Robert Thorne has a one more time against James Deane, and you don't normally get that second chance against the RTR team. So for you, are you trying to make a statement here?
Yeah, definitely. We're trying to prove that our car's fast enough, and it has what it takes. The team's done a great job this weekend. We've been running them on the stopwatch and trying to get our car to match pace, and I think it showed. That was one of the first RTR battles, right? This is our third of the year. Now our fourth we're going at. And we're inching closer to that win. So I know James usually cleans up his one more times, and they're usually perfect. Yep. So we're going to have to push him as hard as we can and see what happens.
Okay. We're going to see you on the track next in your one more time battle with James Deane. Guys.
Thank you so much. Some great insight there and a great attitude there for our 2022 Prospect champion making the jump to pro. Talking with Sopa earlier, you know, going from Prospect to pro, you got spec, but now going to pro, you got more horsepower, you got more rounds, so more opportunity, to be honest, to make some mistakes and then make it up later. So Robert Thorne, he's going to be going against, we talk about it, James Deane, but he's on his rookie year behind the wheel of that Ford Mustang. So, you know, this is, I know that's what Stuke was talking about. He's like, I want to go against him before he gets better in this Ford Mustang, and now here he is 5 rounds deep. But we're going to go back and revisit the second half of this Alec Robbins-Frederick Aasbo battle. Alec will now lead, and Aasbo will give chase. Statusmade.co clothing, non-stop tuning, Nissan 350Z powered by Holley EFI, and then of course, in that rearview mirror, Frederick Aasbo, the Norwegian Hammer, and the Rockstar Energy Drink Toyota GR Supra, 3-time champion. He's on those middle tires. Slow crawl out of the gates. What is Robbins going to do? He initiates in that first outside zone. Everybody dropping that tire, man, getting that dirt roost in that second outside zone. A little wonky, shuts her down. That's going to be a wrap for Alec Robbins, unfortunately. And Freddie does not need to complete the rest of this run because of that lead car. So unfortunately, there was contact made, and that's just going to be the nail in the coffin, unfortunately, for Alec Robbins as he shuts it down. Aasbo will get the victory.
Yeah, unfortunately for Robbins, he just went a little too aggressively into the first corner, into outside zone 1. And he's not the first driver to do it. We've seen it from many drivers here today. And these drivers just need to stay in control a little more, keep that car right on the edge of the track. We know they're capable of it, but of course, like we said earlier, when you're in the lead position, especially up against a 3-time champ like Aasbo, you're trying to push hard, you're trying to get away from them, you're trying to set that pace. And sometimes that pace just takes you off the track a little bit. it's you know, you're threading the needle there. You don't want to go inside on outside zone 1, but you also don't want to go outside. Clearly outside is worse at the moment because you drop a tire and it can break your car or it can cause you to straighten. So, you know, if you're going to err on the side of caution, I would say maybe stay on the inside a little bit.
Just keep it out there.
Just a couple of inches inside.
So Freddie, the Norwegian Hammer, Fredrik Aasbo gets the win. It is a Rockstar energy drink. Toyota GR Supra on Nitto tires wrapped around those Forge Star wheels. So heads back to the pits. 4 more battles, including the one more time between Deane and Thorne. We got Olsen versus Jones, Castro versus RCP, Reader versus Litteral. Got some wicked Stangs down there. Got a really nice Fairlady Z, and look at that slick 7 Series right there.
Some IS 300s, yeah.
Yeah, you like that? You like that Altezza?
Yeah, they're great cars. They share a lot of JZX parts.
That's right.
So you can bolt those on and go sliding around like a pro. I used to have one. I loved it in the snow. It was phenomenal.
I like the cross sports.
I really, yes.
Yeah.
Never came with a manual, but people swap them in, and they were really cool. But look at that pickup on the end over there. That
I was looking at the Toyota. That looks like a
really
the
cool.
the 808 mobster. Whenever you go to Hawaii, they love the Toyotas over in Hawaii.
Yes.
The small little pickups.
They like them down in San Diego too.
They do.
You see them all the time down there.
Look at that boy. Oh,
yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
Is that a 4-run?
I think it is. He took
that
the
is
rear
a 4-run.
off.
It took the cap, the back off. Yeah. Yep. That thing's pretty sweet, man. Like I said, you see those all over Hawaii. They love those things, brah. Sweet as.
Is that a Tesla back there?
Look
with
like a
Rams
Tesla.
on it.
Some Rams. Rams and things. James Deane, Robert Thorne, Castletown Roche. I know his sister was texting me, and I believe she texted the pronunciation to me.
Oh, she did.
Yeah, at one time, but don't know where it's at. So yeah, we'll see if I can find that, but can't find it right now. But right now, what we will find is a winner of this battle: James Deane, Robert Thorne. And this is that one more time battle. We are they're not even in the burnout box yet. What's cooking? What's cooking? Good looking. Got a
they're cleaning
little
up the
track
track
cleanup. All right, so car's about to jump into the burnout box, the Pedal Commander burnout box. Again, 4 more battles left. There's Fredrik Aasbo. Looking very calm.
I'm looking at the comments on YouTube right now. Everybody wants to see the duck. Again, so they're saying they want to see the duck.
I
or they're
can't
gonna
remember
riot.
the duck's Instagram. The duck has been. I don't know if it's the same duck. I've seen at Grid Life, but they bring the duck to a lot of car events. But there's the stats: 2015, 2021, and 2022. So what the duck, right?
What the duck? Do the ducks like the heat?
I don't know.
It's really hot out here today.
Yeah,
and
but
it's loud.
I don't know. There's the duck. There's the duck.
There he is.
Yeah. The duck does have a name, but I can't remember the duck's name.
You're welcome, everyone on YouTube. Got the
There
duck
we go.
back up.
My man's how'd my man sneak in with those guns right there? There was
don't know.
security, but he snuck in with the guns, the gray shirt, the gray hat. All right, so let's throw it down to Laurent Nickel. Updates
Thank
with
you.
Fredrik Aasbo.
Yeah, thank you for getting out of the car for me, Freddie. The win against Alec Robbins. Man, he really put up a battle there.
Yeah, we're definitely playing bumper cars out there. Came into the first corner in my lead and heard a little blam in my door, and that was him knocking on my door, and I don't know what happened after me. Following that, I continued my run, and we got to check over the car before the second run, and he dropped the tire. It was pretty cool seeing that inner tire in the air, but it was really a battle of trying to keep it cool. So we're moving on into top 16.
And you must be so relieved and so happy to be in the top 16. Unfortunately, after New Jersey got knocked out in top 32. So what's the strategy moving forward from here?
Have some fun. So what happened in New Jersey was, it was tough, and Ken did a great job in the wet conditions. I didn't. So what I did is I flew back to Norway, had a lot of fun. I got to be back in Norway. 24/7 drift festival, raging, partying, having fun and drifting. So I'm looking to continue that fun into this weekend.
Fredrik, thank you so much. Going for the fun mode, guys.
Got some updates here from Jacob of Outer Zone, the podcast. Be sure to listen, get some updates from the drivers. Also, my friend Colleen Hitzel, she says it's the drift duck. That's faux. That's faux duck. So the drift duck. Check them out on Instagram. And what do we got? Castletown Roach. All right, there we go. So McSweeney giving us some updates there. All right, here we go. Back to the one more time battle. James Deane, Robert Thorne. Let's see if the Ducks like this one, the mother ducker. James Deane initiates, Robert Thorne, there we go. Keep it, still flirting with the dirt here. Big angle there from James Deane. He counters Robert Thorne. He's talking about, does he have the power? And it seems like he does. Does he have the angle? Does he mimic it? And again, I want to take a look at James Deane. The transition outside zone 2 was a little delayed. TBD, we will find out from James Deane, passing down Roach's own. So taking a look. Again, Robert Thorne still had a smile on his face, says, want to prove that we have the power. He obviously has the talent. Looks like he put it together here. Let's take a look at it once again. Take a look at James Deane's transition, 1 to 2.
All right, nice initiation, goes long on outside zone 1 and had to drive back across the track to get to zone 2. So that's not ideal from James Deane, but right there, lower angle as he comes to outside zone 3, gets into 3 pretty well. Zone 4 he did pretty well.
Yeah,
he did 4 pretty well. So let's look at the chase a little bit more closely now. Robert Thorne right here doesn't get into outside zone 1 until later on, but definitely straightens up there in the chase position, and we're gonna have to see who's to blame for that, if it is actually Thorne's fault or if it's because James Deane went really wide and long on 1 and then had to come across the track. But that definitely was a tricky little area right there.
All right, well, we got the Ford Mustangs in the building and a longtime Ford employee. Shout out to Charlie and Mickey Mattis. The Mattis boys watching. Definitely hot out here in St. Louis, but thanks for tuning in. Comfort of your own home if you're watching, but those fans enduring the heat, definitely getting a great show here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Here we go, let's see what Robert Thorne's got as he leads James Deane. I saw Von Gittin Jr., he's watching at home, cheering him on. Boss man says, give it to him, but Robert Thorne's gonna fight back. He's gonna stick the Thorne in. What do we got? Into that second outside zone. Robert Thorne, good angle, looking very consistent. You can see rock solid here, that third outside zone. Now into the final outside zone. How are they gonna manage? Thorne puts it right in there. I'll tell you what, Robert Thorne, James Deane, he does get a little frisky there towards the end, but Robert Thorne is looking solid. He is absolutely on rails. Watch this again. You know, if you focus on Thorne, a really high qualifying run, if you ask me.
Yeah, that was a great lead run from Thorne. Gets the car to angle nicely in zone 1, gets right to the edge of the track, doesn't drop off the track. That's really important right now. In the chase position, look where James Deane is. He's not really filling outside zone 2, gets back online through outside zone 3, mimicking what Thorne is doing through there. And great job from Thorne through 4 as well. Deane slightly on a tighter line. And let's look at outside zone 1 again as they get to angle here. So Deane does get online through zone 1, does mimic what he's doing, but right here through zone 2, he makes a pretty big compromise as he comes into zone 2 in the chase position to maintain that proximity. Didn't really match the line, didn't get out wide. And then right here, Deane's a little bit on the inside, but not too much. But I think it's going to come down to that run 1 error. I think it seems like Deane went really long and really wide on outside zone 1 and had to drive all the way across the track, giving Thorne nowhere really to go in that situation. So
could see the pits over there. That's Josh Love and some of the other drivers cheering him on. Here's the side-by-side. Let's look at James Deane up front. Like you said, that delay, that transition 1 to 2, right?
Look how long he goes on zone 1. He goes on into the dirt and way long, and then kind of slows down and parks it is a big word, but definitely decels, pointing in the wrong direction. And Thorne in the chase position doesn't really have anywhere to go in that situation. You're expecting the lead driver to maintain momentum, maintain pace until they transition for zone number 2. But in this case, because he dropped the tire near the end of outside zone 1, James didn't really have anywhere to go at that point because the track sort of, the edge of the track kept him out wide. He went really long. And like I said, he instead of transitioning like he should have to, he had to drive all the way across the track, cutting off Thorne.
What does the Duck think?
I don't know. Ask the Duck. What does he think?
Ducky, what do you got?
What's his name? Foe?
Foe the Duck, the Mother Ducker. Mother Ducker, you're the one. It's just going to go right off the Duck's back regardless. All right, so against fellow competitors and crew in the pits. Let's slide him left for James Deane, 3-time champion, and Robert Thorne, a rookie and pro, gets the win. Robert Thorne takes out James Deane, the 3-time champ. Robert Thorne, a big victory for the Andrews Medegaard team. The Duck, don't know if he's a James Deane fan. I would have to assume he's not Irish. You know, I don't think he made the trek all the way over
Duck,
here.
Probably.
It's probably a local Duck here in the Midwest. So Midwest Duck pulling for Thorne. Congratulations.
So that outside zone 1 has already caused a few upsets. It's caused a few issues with drivers, and I think it's going to continue. Drivers need to keep their car on the track through outside zone 1. Otherwise, it's going to lead to big errors being made, big mistakes that can't come back. They can't come back from. These are errors that can be kind of event-ending for a driver. So they really need to stay on the track there, keep the car in control on the edge of the pavement, and not drop that tire and get dragged off the track.
Yeah. Well, again, what a weekend Simon Olsen had last weekend not last weekend, but last event in New Jersey, going against Jeff Jones, who is definitely, he's surging in competition. 3 more battles left here in the Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32. Some great battles here, and we talked about, the three-peat. Well, there's only one RTR Mustang still left in competition. That's Chelsea Denofa, who got that win in Orlando. So it can still be a 4-peat, but it will not be James Deane. Crazy. There it is. So a little bit of a, I don't call it upset, because Robert Thorne definitely talented. But right now, Simon Olsen going against Jeff Jones. Simon Olsen, field suspension, GT radial, S chassis, into that second outside. Oh, Jeff Jones comes out of drift. That's definitely going to hurt him here. That Evil AutoWorks Nissan 370Z. Simon Olsen continues on, and that's going to be an incomplete for Jeff Jones. Simon looking so comfortable. Again, another confidence booster for Simon Olsen. So there it is. Little sip there. And Josh Love and Robert Thorne, they are pitting up this year. So again, the team's celebrating it.
All right, Olsen in the lead position, gets the car to angle nicely. Jeff Jones is there with him, but not quite as wide in zone 1. As they transition for 2, look at the attitude of Jones's car. He kind of over-rotated the car, pulled the angle way out of the car through outside zone 2. Wasn't on the right line, but gets back on it through 3 and does a good job through there. But in 4, isn't quite as wide as he should be. You can see that finish line is where the cones are, not all the way over to the bank. It's a little bit shorter than that. So look at Jeff Jones here. Misses outside zone number 2. Reduces the angle. I don't think he went straight, but it sure was close. And then he gets back online right here, transitions the car for 4, but doesn't go as wide as Simon. And then you see the tall cone there, and then the yellow cone on the inside. Yep. Those are demarking there the finish line. So the finish line does not go all the way to the bottom of the bank. It's a little bit shorter than that, just for ease of the cars getting off the track. We don't want them at angle going up on the bank. There are a lot of huge divots in the track there from previous years where cars' wheels have just taken a chunk out of the pavement. They've had to fix it. So we'd rather avoid that, and we'd also rather avoid cars braking, trying to go over that with angle. So we've shortened the finish line up by about, 30 feet maybe?
All right, so Jeff Jones, again, with that straightening out. Simon Olsen continued on through the course. So let's see what we got here from Jeff Jones, that Evil AutoWorks GT Radial. Big Drift Energy Nissan 370Z. Does fill all of that first outside zone. Simon Olsen getting bathed in the smoke. Now the second outside zone. Simon Olsen kind of tempering and dialing it back a little bit. He knows he doesn't need to be right there on the door, but he does need to be aggressive. And it looks like, unfortunately for Jeff Jones, the Evil AutoWorks out of Redlands, California, with that mistake, you see him peeling out and taking off here. But that's, I think, going to be over for Jeff Jones.
I think that error that he made in outside zone 2, being offline the way he was in the chase position, and also losing angle in a significant way the way he did, is going to kind of seal the deal for Simon Olsen to win this. Simon is not quite as deep in outside zone 1 as Jeff was there, but gets back on the line through outside zone number 2, and is pretty good on proximity through outside zone number 3. Neither one of them gets super deep in outside zone 3. Simon transitions pretty well, mimicking that transition point, timing through between outside zone 3 and outside zone 4, and is on a really good line through outside zone 4. So right there you can see Simon is not as deep. His tire was in the box for the majority of outside zone number 1, but just not as deep as Jeff was. And then through outside zone number 3 right here, they're both in the box, but of course not quite as deep as Olsen, but really maintaining proximity and doing a good job through outside zone 4.
All right, let's see who we got with the victory. You have to assume it's going to slide left for Olsen, and let's make it official. Simon Olsen gets the win after he gets second place in New Jersey. Again, a lot of confidence in his corner. Hey, how's it going? Say hi to my 3 amazing daughters. There you go. I love you. There we go. Thank you for joining us out here. Camera dude, help me say hi. And there you go. You just did. You just said hi. You are live here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. That's awesome. Appreciate that. More signs. Bring all the signs. I love the signs out here. Signs, signs everywhere. Signs. Jonathan Castro, RCP, Rome Charpentier. I was trying to watch the video earlier. He said his vehicle is compromised. It's not 100%. I don't know exactly.
Who is this you're talking about?
Rome Charpentier.
Okay.
He said his car is not 100% right now.
All right.
So I was trying to watch the video earlier. Got a message from Big Duck Club. It's perfect that you know, the duck is in the crowd. Big Duck Club, Robert Thorne. Maybe he's a little good luck duck.
Oh, good luck charm.
Yeah. He doesn't drive a Jeep, so he didn't get ducked.
We should bring a pool up for that duck to let him float around in the pool, maybe. Keep
Fun,
him cool.
Fun fact, keep it cool, keep the duck.
The duck cool.
Big duck, good duck, Big Duck Club, put it in a duck, put it in a pool. How about that? Would be cool. Yeah. I would agree. That duck, actually, the mother ducker, did ride with Chelsea at the Midwest Fest, Grid Life.
In a car.
In a car.
Get out of here.
Yeah. All right, let's move on with the action.
Where's PETA when you need them?
Yeah. Oh, come on now. Easy. Relax.
Hey, you got to think about the ducks,
The duck seems happy. The duck's happy. All right, here we go. You know, who's going to be happy? One of these guys. Who's moving on to go against? We'll find out in just a moment. Here we go. We are seeing Jonathan Castro, Dominican's finest, going against RCP, Rome Charpentier, in the second outside zone. That LTH Mobile 1 DR driver, Castro, into this third outside zone. Really dialed. Really well done there from Jonathan Castro. Seems that this track suits him very well and cannot shake the garagistic BMW of Rome Charpentier. Pretty straightforward battle. Great placement by Castro. 2 more battles left. One of these being the 2. So look at him, Simon Olsen. It's hot for this Norwegian, man. He's a Viking. He's got to be sweating out there.
Replay time.
Yep.
Castro did a great job of getting on the edge of the track but not going over it, which led him to put together a pretty decent run here. In the chase position, Charpentier is not really filling outside zone 2, not really filling outside zone 3 in the chase position either. Castro is doing a decent job in the lead position of putting his car where it should be. He did a great job in outside zone 4. These drivers need to be fast and precise, and precision right now is going to pay off in a big way because of that outside zone 1 edge of track and outside zone 4 as well. You want to get real close to the edge but not go over, because it can have disastrous consequences to your event proceedings here. So Castro, I think, did a great job of positioning his car. In the chase position, though, Charpentier did have a couple of issues with line. He wasn't really filling the line. He was making some compromises to maintain that proximity, and now that they swapped roles, Castro just needs to stay on line, stay relatively close, and in the lead position, Rome has to be precise. Don't drop tires in zone 1 and zone 4, but get close to the edge all around the track.
Limit on the edge. Let's see, Rome Charpentier, garagistic. BMW throws it in. Ooh, it takes a little bit of angle out of it, and he had kind of a beeline, a very unique line there, going to that second outside zone. That might have thrown off Castro. I want to back it up. We'll take a look at different angles here, but now Castro is shallowing up on all of the outside zones. Now finally into that last outside zone, he definitely has the proximity. Bangs the door of Rome Charpentier. Woo. That was a big hit. That was
dramatic finish.
Yeah, door to door. Fortunately, it is the second battle, so we will have a verdict here. But a lot of analyzation here. Let's take a look on that first outside zone 1. It was a unique line that we really haven't seen before with Rome out front.
Well, it looked like when Rome threw the car at angle, it gripped up and lost angle and speed, and that threw Castro off completely. Castro's now trying to catch up, trying to get back online, trying to get back on proximity as well, and he had to make some compromises to do it, but it looks like it came down to Rome throwing the car. I don't know what happened there. The car seemed to grip up in a big way. When he initiated the car, got the car to the zone, it didn't continue kind of floating through the zone on throttle. It just gripped up and, like you said, took a beeline towards outside zone number 2, which is not ideal, not what we're looking for, and definitely not what Jonathan Castro was expecting, being in the chase position there. and they did have a little bump coming up the onto the banking.
Little.
Yeah, just a little bump. It's no big deal.
How's that feel, huh? Is that little? Is that little, Ryan?
For everyone out there, Jared is pushing me now.
Where's Peter when you need it, right? Big animals picking on you.
I need Big Brother over here.
All right. Well, again, Worldwide Technology Raceway. Temps, are they cooling down? I don't really know. We're up here in a suite. It is, I'll admit, a little AC, but you can see Castro here. All right, looks like he's giving a little love here. Maybe saying sorry, I don't know, but the Vitor tires, Garagistic pedal commander BMW. You can see Castro having some words. All right, so all right, don't know exactly, no real body language there that we could read. But we are seeing them get out of the car, both of them getting out of the car, actually. Maybe assessing the damage here. Got to jump back in there, boys. Maybe need some help getting out. Yeah, they hit, like I said, it was a pretty hard hit.
Yeah, we're watching some replays on our little replay screen to see exactly what happened and who deserves the win here. Going through the different runs. I think maybe a couple of votes are in. Mine's in.
All right, what do you, the fans, think? Where my Jonathan Castro fans at? Make some noise. Jonathan Castro from DR, from Dominican Republic. And then you got where my RCP, Rome Charpentier fans at. RCP, there you go, got a few there. Coming all the way from Southern California. Rome making a lot of noise over the years. Both these guys outside of the car. I don't know, do those look like kind of interjections there? I don't know. I don't know if they're mad at each other or they're just kind of dealing with it right now. I don't know.
I'm not going to read too much into it.
I got to read. Oh, here we go. And look at this. Jonathan Castro gets the win. Again, 2-1. So Ryan Lantagne, you sided with Jonathan Castro. Robin Sheeta said one more time, and Chris Yule said Jonathan Castro. So Castro gets the win. Your reasoning?
Yeah, I put a lot on Rome's error in outside zone number 1, and I think it's Chris that did the same thing as I did. I think that's Jeff's 3.
Yes.
And I think Robbie maybe put a shared fault on that because I think in his eye, Castro was a little bit inside on his line, so he made him share fault. Whereas I put it more on Rome because he should be running that better lead run and not making that mistake.
Here is the chase to the top 16. Who's going to advance on? We have one more driver. This is how our Royal Purple Top 16 bracket is shaping up. One more battle here in the Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32. Our GoPro chase for the championship brackets. So we will be having a break after this, and then we are back on track and with our United States Air Force opening ceremony at 8:30. So local time, almost 6:30, so just about 2 hours. Travis Reeder, Ryan Litteral. You got the LS-powered BMW of Travis Reeder. You got the RB-powered S15 of Ryan Litteral. Let's see who comes out on top. I know Travis Reeder took a big hit. I looked at his social media yesterday or Thursday and had a big hit in his door. Don't know exactly how that happened. Haven't exchanged words with him yet, but the Nicholas BMW will lead. Nicholas, really cool gaming project. GT radials and then the GT radial power stop. S15 of Ryan Litteral chasing him down. Good initiate. Ooh, just as I say that, he goes into the dirt. Dropping that tire there, Travis Reeder. And look at Ryan Litteral. Very aggressive in the chase position. Just allowed him to slip on by, walk on by into that second outside zone. Now transitioning into that final outside zone. And there you go. So again, that finish line is just there at the end. You can see the red and white strips, and there's that white inside cone. That is the finish line. So let's take a look at it again here. Lantagne.
Decent initiation from both of them. Reeder does drop that tire in outside zone 1, but it doesn't seem to affect him too much. And look at the way Litteral did that transition. Sick. He was so close right there. Very precise. Litteral misses outside zone number 3 somewhat, whereas Reeder seems to be in it and doing a good job. Great job in outside zone 4 from both of them. Let's watch this from the drone this time, the high-speed drone. So right there, you can see Litteral's in the box doing a great job. But watch this transition. Woo, nice and close. That was so tight. And in the chase position, Litteral's doing a great job of positioning his car. He does get into the box there in outside zone number 3, but not quite as deep as Reeder does. And same thing for outside zone 4. But I think Litteral put together a pretty solid chase right there, especially positioning himself for outside zone number 2 and getting so close on that transition.
Okay, so here we are seeing Ryan Litteral out front, Power Stop, Collab, S15, and Travis Reeder, T-Rab. Here we go. And here we go, changing into the position, like I said, in outside zone 1, Ryan Litteral into outside zone 2, big angle from Ryan Litteral. Now into that third outside zone. This is a great driving showing by Ryan Litteral, the best we've probably seen so far. Filling all the outside zone for Travis Reeder, drops into formation that Nicholas BMW. Again, Travis, he was giving it to him, but I'll tell you what, you can't have a good chase run unless you have a good lead run, and Litteral put the car in all the right places.
Yeah, his initiation wasn't as snappy as Reeder's was on his lead run, but he did get the car to angle, got it in the box. Right there, he kind of has a late transition into outside zone number 2 and has to sort of not park the car, but rotate it right in place. And it gives Reeder the opportunity to get close. And then as they go through 4, very similar to what Reeder did in his lead, but Reeder's right there next to Ryan. So let's watch this initiation. You can see there, not the snappiest initiation, but his line is great in the lead position. Transition right there. Got himself into outside zone number 2. It looked more dramatic from up in the sky, from the high drone. But as we watch here on the action drone, it seems like it's a really great run from Ryan Litteral in the lead position.
All right, do we have a victor, Reeder or Litteral? Final battle of our Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32. Again, local time just about 6:30, meaning we got 2 hours of downtime for you to collect your thoughts. All the drivers get their cars prepped, get their minds right. The fans could go cruise the pits, the paddock, high fives and handshakes all around for a variety of different drivers. Again, Gushi versus Forsberg. We'll walk you through that paddock as we are live.
No.
We're up here. We're up
Coming
here.
for
I know.
us.
Look at this. They're coming. They're coming right for us. This is the judges' stand. It's not pretty, but it's all ours. So again, sliding left for Reeder, right for Ryan Litteral, and Ryan Litteral one more time and gets the win. So it looks like Ryan Lontaine and Chris Yule side with Ryan Litteral. Very similar scenario to that of Castro and RCP, but Ryan Litteral.
Yeah,
here we
just
are.
had the edge
Top
over him
16.
and didn't drop his tire in outside zone 1.
All right, so here's how the bracket shapes up. Ryan Litteral is going against Castro, but we got Gushi versus Forsberg. We got Denofa versus Dylan Hughes, Ryan Turk versus Ken Gushi, an all-Toyota battle. You got Odie, Bakchis, and Matt Field, formerly stars of the Frenemies show. They're making their own content. They split ways, you know. Both of them, you know.
Split ways, Jared. What are you saying?
Well, I
Was
mean,
there a little bit of animosity there? Or
maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, look. Well, they were both on Falcon when they split, you know.
I'm just trying to build tension.
Yeah,
no
you are. You're building
whatsoever.
it. Look, here's a knife. You get so thick, you could cut it with a knife. All right, so well, as we wrap up the 32, let's throw it down to Simon Olsen, who got second place in Jersey. He wasn't better than that, right, Lorette?
It was, I don't know what you said, Jared. I heard second place for Simon Olsen, which he was really excited about, and he is looking forward to carrying that momentum because before New Jersey, he was in 14th in the championship points. He's all the way up to 5th, and now that momentum carrying you forward, you're looking for that #1 spot.
Yeah, so we got second place in Jersey last round and carrying that momentum, feeling good in the car and all of that. So yeah, we really want to get the #1 spot sometime, and we are definitely aiming for that this round.
Yeah, definitely aiming for that, but you told me that you guys are chasing some gremlins, so what's happening with the car?
Yeah, we have had some gremlins with the car with some spark plugs and some spark plug wires, or what's it called? But that's all fixed now, so the car runs super good. The setup is on point, I'm feeling it, and we're aiming for it.
Well, he is aiming for that #1 spot. Best of luck. The next time we're going to see him is top 16. That is coming up. That has now been top 32 here at Formula Drift.
Thank you so much, Lorette. Good luck to you, Simon Olsen, and the rest of the other 15 drivers. We're back here at 8:30. 9:30, the round of 16, our United States Air Force opening ceremonies. Ryan, are you going to be here with me? Or
I will not be. I believe it's the beautiful Ryan Sage who will be taking my place.
Oh, Sage, you're coming over here? All right. Well, Ryan Sage, speaking of heat, Ryan Sage is going to be with me in the booth for a top 16. And yeah, weather off in the distance. Don't go anywhere. I'm talking about the weather. Don't go anywhere. But also you have 2 hours. We'll see you back here just literally 2 hours from now. Set the timer. Hey Siri, set the timer. 2 hours. All right? There you go. You're welcome. All right, we're back here for round 5 of the Formula Legit Pro Championship on behalf of our judges and our staff and our crew. And congratulations to those drivers moving on. Round 5 of the Formula Legit Pro Championship continues, and our Royal Purple Top 16 in just 2 hours. Send it, Formula Legit Nation. We'll see you online, and we'll see you another time.